Well, welcome into the Clear as Mud podcast. I'm your host, Riveter. This is co-host here is Banana Grabber.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? So anyway, we were supposed to be joined by the one and only slayer of, what is it? What does he call himself? He's the slayer of Zoomers, destroyer of Zoomers, and whatever. I guess he's running the
King T.
Yes, the number one source of tea, so on and so forth. WillyMac. Hopefully he would be joining us here shortly.
Later in the show.
If he doesn't, that's fine. Nerdy John kicked from the podcast. Nerdy John is not an official member of the podcast. JFA.
Yeah, JFA is a new subscriber. He doesn't know, we have a third chair open for co-hosts who are friends of the show.
Sure.
That we rotate in and out on, just whoever feels like they want to come on. There's always an open invitation to our previous co-hosts. If they ever want to talk about a topic we're talking about on Sunday, they're more than welcome to hop in, as third chair. Otherwise, it's just me and Riveter.
Yeah, we're there day in, day out. We're just the faces you get. Also, just real quick, I want to take care of a little housekeeping. My fault, because I didn't have a certain scene added to our to the other scenes that we run when we do have a guest and stuff, where we get alerts when people do certain things like donate or whatever. And so last week we did receive a donation, Banana.
We did?
Yes, Picklington. Yeah, he donated $4.20.
420 blaze it.
Exactly. He said TMNT Shredder's Revenge is greater than Elden Ring.
That's a video game?
I guess so. Yeah.
When did it come out?
TMT Shredder's Revenge? Dude, I don't know.
TMNT. There's a new arcade game. I didn't even know. If I knew there was is it a beat 'em up? Let's look at this. TMNT. Yeah, it looks like kind of a beat 'em up type game.
Okay.
It's fantastic. Also, shout out to all the people in the chat that are joining us today. Zero Core, JFA, Picklington, Zero Core again. Mari 992, Shout of Humor. Thank you guys for joining us.
Picklington, I don't know if you were there when I apologized. We did receive your donation last week. I just did not have our alert scene, whatever, set up on the scenes we were using last week because of the guest thing. I have corrected that, so we won't miss any of you guys' donations or anything like that. And I'm not in any way am I trying to hype donations or say, hey, donate, whatever.
I am. Pay us money. We do this for free. We give you hours of free content.
Well, that's total. I'm not quite as boastful, I guess, whatever. So while we wait for WillyMac to show up,
the whole fucking nation lost its mind this week. I mean,
yeah,
my God.
Yeah,
you would have thought something big happened in the news or something.
Well, and here's the thing. I guess we could talk about that for just a little bit. I want to preface this with saying this. I guess I'm one of those rarities, and I know I have been. Back a few weeks ago, I was accused of being conservative and being, I was quote exposed by the conservatives. I think that's how he worded it. But here's two things I'll tell you right now that I think set me apart from being quote unquote conservative. One, I do believe that abortion is a necessary evil.
One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. You can fucking count on Todd Christopher coming for you. And I'm coming for you.
Hat change. JFA, thanks for the $5 donation. Hat changes.
Hat change? Okay.
You have to talk to Banana. I'm not the hat boy. Either that or, so Banana will have to take care of you. And now you get to see because he's running his little, I don't know what the hell he's got going on over there today. But anyway,
I got your hat change.
He's got the hat change. So there you go.
Was it JFA or Picklington?
It was JFA donated.
Thank you, JFA. Mucho gusto.
And number two, I believe that people should be able to marry and uh, live with whoever it is that they love. Uh, Now, that's kind of where I stand on things. Now, to kind of revisit what I said about being a necessary evil, uh,
Mhm.
I do believe I do believe it is an evil act. I do believe it is a life. But I also understand that because of other red tape bureaucracy that we have in place here in the U.S., uh, such as we do not have avenues in place where children can be readily and easily adopted by loving families, right?
Mhm.
I have personally had uh, several friends that were denied, and family members that have been denied adoption because of age, medical conditions, uh, and so they wound up having to go overseas to adopt a child. Well, when we have Americans that are having to go overseas to adopt children because our own government, state and federal government stuff have restrictions in place to prevent, that you know, I just think it's a necessary evil because otherwise we'd have a lot more children that are being subjected to, I think, lives that are not good. I'll just put it that way.
Mhm.
Mentally, emotionally, physically abused situations, and I just don't think that's a good thing. However, I do believe that there needs to be. And here's the thing, and I honestly, truly, maybe I'm out of line here, folks. And if I am, I would welcome the discourse on this. I believe Americans as a whole, as far as when I say a whole, I'm talking about the mass percentage of Americans,
Right, right, right.
believe that there needs to be a cutoff period of time where at a certain time you can't have this medical procedure anymore because at that point in time it is an actual human life. We go past it being a fetus, we go past it being a zygote or whatever, and it is an actual human being.
This is a very long way to say that Roe v. Wade got overturned the other week.
Yeah, Roe v Wade
And
got
it's
overturned.
yeah. So you're saying safe, legal, and rare, basically, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I understand why they overturned it. I understand the legal precedents on why it was overturned. And here's what I'll say to this: as I understand, there's a lot of people
Hoopla. It's a lot of
that.
hoopla.
Well, no, there's some people who are upset, and I think in some cases, I think
Upset would
that,
be a very, very benign way to put it.
well,
It's
the
so incredibly generous.
sure, well, yeah, but there's like, okay, so for example, there is extremists on both sides, right? You have extremists on the right that's out there and they're holding the signs and they're all this other this that whatever else and they're chanting yay and all this kind of stuff.
Well, what doesn't make sense to me is that like people think abortion was just made illegal. And what really happened was it was overturned as a federal protection, and now it's up to
Yes,
the states,
it's up
the
to the
state individual
individual
states,
states now. And here's
to
the thing
decide
too.
whether or not it's
And here's the
yeah.
thing too, right? And this is the thing that I think I find the most. How do I put this? Distasteful about this whole situation, right?
Uh,
If the preponderance in Washington, okay, if the ones who are out there right now who are calling for dissension in the streets, that are calling for
insurrection.
right, for protests and this, that, and whatever else, right? If they
Right.
would have done something, right? Because a lot of these people have been in Washington for a long time, right? They're not just fresh faces up there in Washington. They could have written a law, right, and started through the adoption process to amend the Constitution to ensure that as a right. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, we have a process here in America to where if enough Americans believe that this is something that has to be corrected, that this is something that has to be insured, right? That this is a right that people are insured to, such as, you know, the Civil Rights Bill, for example, getting it passed and getting it, there's a way of doing this. Okay, they could do this. They could, it would be what's called a constitutional convention, and they would have to do it, and then a percentage of the states would have to ratify it, and once it got ratified, then it becomes a amendment to the Constitution, right? And they could have done this. They could have done this a long time ago. So I would challenge people to start crying for that, to cry for legislation to ensure this, so that it should not have ever been something that was decided inside the court systems. This is something that should have been a law passed to ensure this and stuff. But since Banana kind of want to dag in,
I don't give a shit about all that. I just like the mauling, the public spurring that is happening. The spurring.
So all right, so I'm going to defer to you on this. Where do you want to start at on this with some of these things that you have correlated, or whatever you want to call it here?
Oh God, let's go to the let's see. Let's go to the news tab. And there's this one that says the Daniel hot dog. Well, we can't show that one. I mean, we can show it. I don't know if I want to read that out loud. Daniel hot dog butt. You got that tweet up?
Daniel hot dog butt. I got one that says Daniel.
Oh, just go to the first tab you have open. We'll start from there.
Hang on here. Hang on here. So do this here.
Okay.
Open tab. You talk about this one here, right?
Yeah. So Daniel hot dog butt thought this was a good tweet to put out there.
I'm a little bit hesitant.
Should I say that out loud? Can I even read that?
I don't think so, because it's calling for. It's
a pretty severe, call to action.
Yeah,
this
is calling for. Butt. This is calling for the.
This isn't hyperbole. Yeah, apparently that's what Daniel himself, hot dog _ butt, says. This is not hyperbole. And if everyone has had a little bit of time to read that, we can move on to the next slide.
Oh, I haven't even showed this. I haven't even showed it.
Oh, you haven't even showed it? I'm
a little bit, because it's calling for.
No, you can show it. Show it. Go show it.
Okay.
This is Daniel's own words. I just can't read it because I don't want to risk fucking federal crime.
Well, yeah, but we show it, so is it really that much better? I don't think so. But
as long as I'm not saying it, I don't give a shit.
Anyway, there you go. That's what Mr. Hot Dog Butt had to say.
Every member of the Supreme Court who just allowed Roe v. Wade to be overturned should be pulled out of their chambers in blank in the effing street. This isn't hyperbole. Gun the blanks. Oh.
There you go. See, that's why you can't.
So, I'm on a list. Now, let's go to the next one. These are fucking crazy.
All right, so the next one is, I think, let's see.
All right, this one is 2 chromosomes. I don't know. One of my friends showed me this. Debating leaving my boyfriend. Oh no,
which one do you want? This one here? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that one. Okay. Debating leaving my boyfriend due to his indifference to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. By now, a lot of us have heard this news. I found out at work from a coworker, and all of us, including the men, were obviously very upset and furious. I got home and my boyfriend didn't say a single thing about it to me. I asked him, what do you think about the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned? No response. I asked him again and no response. I sat for a few minutes disappointed. Then I said, the fact that you have nothing to say about the fact that many women, including myself, are getting their rights taken away is very telling. And I walked out of the room. He lied to me about his political views when we first started dating, but at the very least, I would expect him to support basic human rights. I am disgusted with him. This is not just coming from the one conversation, air quotes. This is coming from multiple instances where he has shown to have indifference to important social issues.
Yeah.
What a pleasant person to be around. Imagine coming home after a long day of work and just being goaded into a political conversation by your significant other. They're using you as like a soundboard for their political ideation and hatred. Because you're a man.
I have an idea. And probably why he didn't answer is because maybe he knows where it would end up at.
Yeah, I like putting myself in.
He just didn't have the willpower.
He was beaten down. This man's bruised. Yeah, I like putting myself in his shoes because it's funny from her point of view. You can see the man just being like, this is every day. This is every day. And God bless you, sir. You should probably get out of there before you just turn it on her. If you see the post, Sigma her out on the other end. Just leave before she gets the chance.
I assume this is a response to that original Reddit.
These are the comments. Yeah. These are the comments. Like, just for some perspective, my husband woke up and the first thing he asked me is if I'm okay. I was working from home and hadn't seen the news yet. He patted my back while I cried, asked me which abortion funds I wanted to donate to. I live in a state which constitutionally protects reproductive rights. And what I want our sign to say for the protest later. Your boyfriend is ambivalent to your personhood and right to bodily autonomy. Why would you want to be with him? Question mark. Unreal. We'll take calls in a little bit. Shout of humor and Nudie John.
Yeah. So you
I just like it, dude. It reads like parody. Like, and if I'm getting got here by reading parody as realistic, then oh well, it's still hilarious to me. Lady O26.
This next one, this one really, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, Lady O26 says, my husband was outraged, not just for me, our daughter, her offspring, but for the countless pregnant persons this lunacy will affect. He made me proud, and I know I can count on him to stand on the right side of history. Can you say the same about your boyfriend? Thoughts
I have
for later.
A question, and maybe this is a rhetorical question. I don't know.
No, shoot.
So my question is this. Oh, geez. Freaking camera shit's all messed up again. So in this situation, she said she was outraged for her daughter and her daughter's offspring, right? Well, if she's supporting abortion, is her daughter really going to ever have any offspring?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that's
these
just
people
not...
are so. They're like these. I feel like either one of two things. This is parody, and we're being fooled here,
Sure.
or none of these people have significant others, and they're all just in a basement typing this up as like some kind of fantasy creative writing project. We have another one here from Crime Scene Bees. Considering my husband apologized to me over it, dump this guy. There are way better men out there. Yeah, do better, men. If you didn't come up to your girlfriend and or wife or significant other and tell them how sorry you were on behalf of all men, you frankly should do better.
When this, I'll be honest with you. When this happened, I didn't even know it. I had a doctor's appointment, and I took the day off from work, and took my mom with me, and we just kind of had a mother-son day. The doctor's appointment didn't take too long; it was just a little follow-up thing or whatever else. And so we just was hanging out, whatever. And I got a text from my wife, and she said they overturned Roe versus Wade.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn. I was kind of shocked. I was kind of surprised by this. I know there had been some inklings, some quote leaked documents, whatever, that was indicating this was going to happen, whatever.
Sure.
So
what, did she badger you? What was your response? Did you respond correctly?
Well, I asked my wife, I said, well, okay. So I said, as a woman, I said, because we're told as men, we don't really have a voice in all this. We don't have an opinion on all this. We can't talk about this.
I can laugh at these people, but I can't talk about it.
we can't have a serious conversation about, the whole
reproduction.
We don't, once we,
whenever I turned age of puberty, I really should have chopped my nuts off. I mean, that would have been doing everybody a favor.
Well, I've actually seen a few things out there where people are calling for the sterilization of men when they reach reproductive age, and so that they can't, therefore they can't reproduce until later on in life when they're financially responsible.
We'll just call it quits on the whole human project. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Well, let me read Studio Sister. Well, actually, no. So how did you respond to your wife?
So the way I asked my wife, I said, okay. I said, how do you want, are you upset by this? Do you want to go protest? What do you want? You tell me as a woman
See, this is why I'm not married anymore.
Yeah. Okay. And my wife said, "Why in the hell would I want to go protest?"
Yeah.
Um, and but
different
there
strokes, different
again,
folks, huh?
my wife is um is I guess you would call it,
Traditional.
she's traditional, yeah.
Staunchly.
But here's the thing, she's kind of like me, in the sense that um she believes that it's a necessary evil too, right? There's going to be situations where a woman is um it's forced upon her, and as far as she's assaulted sexually, and should not be forced to carry the child to term, or there's a situation where it's incestuous, and uh, you know you know wouldn't want to take the child to term, stuff like that. So I mean, there's so she's like me. She understands it is a necessary evil, and that's kind of where we both, uh, and that's I think maybe kind of a point thing, because I think majority of our audience may be of younger people. And what I would tell you guys is, no matter what you're if you're heterosexual or whatever, it doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. When you start dating people, and if you're looking to build a long-term relationship with anybody, you want to make sure that, I'm not going to say you have to be completely 100% like-minded, right? But what you have to be is, you have to have enough in common to where you're not constantly fighting about everything, right?
Well, no, like the point is like I'm not a inconsiderate asshole. But what I'm pointing
Well,
out
that
by
helps.
laughing at hold on, yeah, I am that. But hold on before you go there. The thing I'm pointing out is like, why would you want to make the person you love to see every day come home to the opposition? Like, why do you want to make an enemy out of them by coming home and picking a fight with them?
Yeah.
That's a good way to ruin a relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like, if by the way, if you got into a relationship with somebody who doesn't value the same things as you, maybe then you should make, a fucking, you should probably prioritize those things before you get into a relationship.
Exit stage right. I'm going to just tell you, I mean, life is too short, to, most people, when they go out of their homes of a day to go to work or whatever, even if they really like the type of work that they're doing, inevitably there's always a downside to the job, right? There's either some people that you work with,
pros and cons.
Your boss is an asshole, maybe some of the people you work with are assholes, but it doesn't, whatever, right? It's just the way it is, right? And so when you come home, right, and if you're shacking up with somebody in sin, burning hell, whatever, if you're married or whatever, when you get home, what my point is that should be your fortress of solitude, right? That should be where you come and there's no storm. That should be your port, your safe harbor.
Recharge.
You should be able to come home, and the other person that is sitting across from you on the couch listens to what you have, is sympathetic to you, and I would like to say that I have been that for my wife, but that's probably not true. Not all the time.
No,
anyway.
all the time. You can't do it all the time. Yeah.
I know that people think that I'm this big softy, and I am for the most part, but I also have a very cantankerous side to me too, where I just can be a complete total asshole. I really can. And but the thing about it is this is the one thing that I learned when I actually found the right person for me, is when you truly love somebody, you want to make sure that you're putting forth the very best version of yourself every day.
Yeah.
Period. And I really truly believe that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Again, who you have waiting at home for you, right? Nerdy John says, he says, one of the benefits of dating a trans girl is no abortion talk. Well, I don't know about that, Nerdy, because I have been trying to enlighten myself, and I'm learning that trans people can be affected by things such as a trans woman can have, I guess, menstrual cycles. And if they can have menstrual cycles, then that means they can get pregnant. So I don't know if you necessarily can say I get to skip the abortion talk just because you're dating a trans girl.
I'm not touching that with a 20-foot fucking pole. Picklington says my best mate and his missus are on opposite sides of the political aisle. Have been together for 20 years. Don't know how they do it, to be honest. Picklington, do they have children? I would guess no. If they have children, that's pretty crazy and remarkable.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, too, right? I have friends, long, dear friends of mine that I've known probably 23, 24 years, right? And we are on opposite views when it comes to political things, right? The thing what you have to do is you have to be respectful.
They have children, wow.
And you have to be respectful, and you have to say, I don't agree with you on this, right? Or I don't agree with you on that. But I still respect you as a person, and so therefore, you know.
Yeah.
And then
you have to compromise. Yeah, let's get to these other tabs, and then we'll bring Nerdy John in because it seems like he has something to say. Also, Shadow Humor if you want to come back in after we're done with this.
So
we'll get to comment.
So the next
Studio Sister says, yeah, my husband came home, hugged me, and asked me if there were any protests we could go to this weekend. You can do better than a lying conservative. All right, that one is pretty milquetoast in comparison. Let's go to the next one.
Here we go.
Oh boy, this is the long one. Rip throwaway. So this is one again. I found these from a friend posting them, and it says the radical Christians are found in rural areas. Their towns are defenseless. They have almost no cops, and their firemen are volunteers. They have to borrow cops and firemen from neighboring jurisdictions miles away in order to handle anything big, and they think they're safe out there. Forget burning cities. Cities are on our sides. It's time for rural areas to feel the heat. You show up 100 deep in every rural town in a 50-mile radius, intent on revolution. You'll crash your system and make them pay. And if you all think I'm kidding, I'm dead serious. This was caused by backwards-ass rural conservatives operating out of a Christianized worldview. Even if they're not Christian, they're heavily influenced by it. There was ones who voted for Trump. In 16, disillusioned by redneck, white trash, blue-collared, quoted country song, who flipped massively for the GOP to let them punish their towns. I don't know what the fuck that's about. It was parentheticals. When did those end?
So basically
I'm not the organizing type, but maybe somebody who can organize that. Start in a certain state in the Midwest, often called the South's middle finger to America. It's literally what the South would have looked like. Yeah, so they're calling for civil war. So.
You know, I would caution anybody before you want to come into rural America and start that shit. That's all I'm going to say. I would caution anybody, especially in the South. We're easygoing, loving, good-natured people. We'll help you. We'll give you the shirts off our back. But if you come in here and you start shit, there's going to be shit. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I can tell you.
All right, I'm gonna pull Nerdy in here real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Nerdy John, you're on the air. How you doing?
Hello. I just want to say it's funny because this is the same group of people, that always preaches Black Lives Matter. But as soon as a black guy makes a decision that they don't like, they start calling him the N-word and start saying some KKK stuff like, let's drag him out of his house and shoot him.
Yeah,
sure. The rules are subjective depending on what happens. If something doesn't happen politically that you agree with, then yeah, you can. Everything's game. You can start breaking the rules.
He's not the correct one. Is basically what they're saying.
We have a couple more screenshots of people threatening civil war type behavior going into towns, stuff like that. But what was that video that you showed me, Riveter? And then we'll pull in Shadow Humor.
The video.
Yeah, the video of that lady.
Oh, good God. I don't know. This thing here?
Yes. Let's watch this. This is the last one.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay.
This is truly incredible.
All right, let me pull this up here.
Everyone
Guys,
buckle the fuck up.
I'm going to forewarn you. If you're wearing earphones, turn your audio down. There's some
ear
severe
raping coming.
There's
Your
some,
essay coming.
it's pretty bad. I want to just tell you. I had to
Preemptively lower the volume.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. You have been warned. Let's go.
being warned. Here we go.
It's all right. It's all right. I feel that way too. It's all right. We feel that way together, okay? Let it out. Let it out. Everybody wants to show the happy side. I'm mad as hell today!
Oh my god.
We found the angry video game nerd's mother.
Because I have responsibilities, I'm gonna do these freaking dishes.
Yeah, let's do those dishes, Karen.
It's gonna be alright.
Gonna be all right. That's what I'm saying.
Now go make me a sandwich.
Look at this
Oh, no.
performative bullshit, though. Like, seriously, like, how fucking dumb are you to go on to, without even looking into what the fuck happened with Roe v. Wade being overturned, to go on to fucking TikTok and it's gonna be all right, and just fucking
Okay.
have like a goddamn
All right.
autistic meltdown.
Well,
And you
let me
start
just-
screaming into the camera.
Here's the
I do.
thing.
I like the amount of like no shame having ass like people that live on this planet. I think, frankly, we're due for some kind of extinction event. I mean, truly, like, because how do you to have the balls to get on camera and do something like that without being ironic? Like, what the fuck? What?
Well,
No shame, I tell you.
Did you see the tweet that was put out by?
Oh, wait, we gotta pull in Shadow Humor. He's been waiting for a minute. Let's pull him
Okay,
in real
go ahead
quick.
and pull shout out.
Hey, Shadow
Shadow
Humor,
Humor.
welcome to the show. You're on the air. How you doing? Shadow Humor, did you walk away from your PC?
He
Anyway.
might have the Android glitch.
Yeah. If you have the Android glitch, just quit and come back. You can go ahead and talk about your thing. We'll wait. Did I see the tweet? What, Riveter?
I think it was. Let's see if I can find it here real quick.
TikTok is yeah, he's on Android. Yeah, Shadow Humor, you have to figure something out. Not be on your phone. If you can get to a laptop or something.
Yeah. Okay, so Count Dankula. I'm sure that we're all enough to know who Count Dankula is. He changed his name. I'm trying to find the tweet here right quick. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. But anyway, he changed his name to Justice Dankula.
Just I think
Justice Dankula. Anyway, he responded to President Biden's tweet that he put out about the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And he responded. It was nothing like horrible or anything of that nature. He just said, Mr. President, we gave it a lot of thought or something like that. And the internet lost its mind. They actually thought he was a Supreme Court justice. He started showing screenshots of direct messages and stuff that he was getting from people wishing death upon him, calling for his demise. And I'm sitting there,
like there was one. There was one lady saying that you have a little dick, and he screenshots her DMs, and he says, "My wife actually likes my small PP, thank you."
No, seriously, we really because we're laughing at this shit, but like, what kind of mass psychosis is this planet experiencing to where people like so 20 years ago? Did people act like this 20 years ago, Riveter? Like, did people have this kind of malding session?
no.
What kind of fucking Cthulhu world have we inhabited We transferred dimensions over to some kind of fucking like other side.
You know what it probably was? It was the verified check mark on his account. They're probably like, "Oh my god, that's a real Supreme Court judge."
All right, we're gonna give Shadow Humor one more chance, real quick.
Okay,
Let's
let's
pull
give
him.
Shadow Humor another chance here.
Shadow Humor, you are muted. Unmute. You are on the air. Unmute. How you doing? You there? Can't hear you. Unfortunate. All right. Well, we will catch you later, Shadow Humor. If you can get on a PC, do so in the future. It'd be way easier. Okay.
But, so I found the tweet. I got it up here on the stream for the guys, people in the audience, and so President Biden says today is a very solemn moment for the United States. The Supreme Court expressly took away a constitutional right. Well, from the American people that it had already recognized, they simply took it away. Here's the thing: you cannot take away a constitutional right. If it is something that is in the Constitution, right, and it's ensured through a amendment, right, or was part of the original writing of the Constitution, right, if it was one of the quote the Bill of Rights, then you can't just take that away. The Supreme Court cannot just overturn it. They just, whatever. This was a reversal of a previous legal decision. Okay. And that's why I said at the beginning, when we start talking about all this, the appropriate steps need to be taken to ensure that this is a moot point going forward. And the legislators like AOC, Alessandria Ocasio-Cortez, however you say her name, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Water, just to name a few that have been the ones that I've seen out there just really raising Cain about it.
Oh, the radicals, yeah, true.
Then and they've been there for a while. I mean, well, AOC hasn't, but
no, Maxine Waters,
and Nancy Pelosi have
Pelosi
been.
has been there since before my dad was born, probably.
Yeah, she's been there for a decade. So anyway,
here's the thing, though. What I was saying about that is like, the fucking I think the internet has caused a big problem for like modern day political discussion or public speech. It's like I don't know how much of that is a good thing. Where people are able to just get online and have this emotional, fucking, spurg fest.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because then if they waited an hour, instead of acting emotionally very quickly, maybe it wouldn't have chosen to do that and make an ass of themselves.
Well, so back to this thing here said.
Yeah, sorry.
They simply took it away. That's never been done to a right that is so important to so many Americans. Okay. So if it was a right, if it truly was a right, then they should have taken steps to
we tried, but the Republicans have every single turn.
No, that's not true. That's not true. There's been more, especially since Roe versus Wade was passed, there's been numerous times that the Democrats have been in charge of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They could have got this passed through and got it and kicked out to where they could have started the amendment process. They chose not to. But anyway, so
they were not on the right side of history, I don't think.
I don't know. Anyway, so Count Dankla says, we were careful in our decision, Mr. President. And the people lost their minds. I mean, they literally lost their minds and just started going.
Oh God, I'm seeing the retweets and quote tweets. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at this, 3,418 retweets and quote tweets. And then we had over almost 3,000, 2,700.
Oh my God, we have a new caller. Do you want to take him?
I don't think so, because I just got a message from Mr. Mac, and Mr. Mac will be joining us directly.
Okay, just take this real quick because it's a new caller. Just real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Brick, you are on the air. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, Banana, thanks for having me on.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just eating some food. Had a long night last night. Yeah, I just wanted to comment on, you were saying how because we're all online all the time, terminally online, everybody, even if you're not really as heavy as we are into the internet, everybody's always reading opinions and outrage pieces by everybody, and it really affects everybody's judgment. I don't think everybody is meant to be a politician. but it's kind of been commoditized in such a way where it becomes this overwhelming thing in everybody's lives, right? So it's kind of like this resting like anxiety that everybody has. And it's also, I'd like to comment, it's rather interesting what the liberals are saying, how, you know, when Trump was in office, he was going to take away gay marriage and he was going to take away this. But now now that Biden's in office and these things are happening, the liberals are turning on the Supreme Court. You know, if you noticed, I don't know if you've noticed
Well,
that
the
sentiment.
fucking what's it called? The lore that's going on for the liberals is that Trump put in 2 justices that are biased as fuck, and they'll they have the Supreme Court. So everything that tries to get passed is just, or they'll go back in, because they even did this during the presidential debates. Like he's going to overturn Roe v. Wade, and then Trump was like, "You're going to pack the court, aren't you, Biden?" So
Yeah, that's probably the next logical step. This is the thing coming out of the liberal camp is, well, Trump put 2 justices in there that, Amy Coney Barrett, I don't know what was her fucking controversy or some shit, and then the other guy, Kavanaugh, they had that whole controversy with his fucking party shenanigans back when he was in high school. So it would definitely make sense that they're laying the groundwork, for people to be for the mainstream to be like, yeah, well, we have to pack the court. Obviously, look what these 2 justices did. That Trump put in. We have to balance it in our favor. It's kind of worrying, because the Supreme Court is meant to be this unpartisan, neutral arbiter of the law, right?
It's a check and balance. They're judges.
Well, they're supposed to be the exact interpretation of the law, of the Constitution. And it's the fact that the liberals have their eye on that is kind of disconcerting, because,
well, the conservatives are playing that game too. Let's make no mistake about that.
Oh, like, everybody does.
They're not. Yeah, they're claiming they're not, but they're just as guilty as. And the reason is because the liberals, they feel like they're in a corner because of the way that the modern left is so fucking radicalized. They're like, all right, fine. You want to play that game? We'll play it too. And so I agree with you. I think maybe they're going to pack the court, or at least that's going to try to do is expand it a little bit. So.
Well, it's interesting what they did with they learned from Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that other guy who stepped down this year because he was getting too old. So they're definitely learning to play this game of, hey, it's not about having that because RBG, I don't think they want to take her out because she was this figurehead of the women's rights movement and stuff like that. But I think they realized that in this game of politics, nothing is guaranteed, and they lost RBG, and we got 2, or I say we, but the I guess center people got 2 fairly conservative judges in there, and
penis.
I think that eventually
butthole.
Hello, is this working?
Yeah.
Hey, WillyMac, how you doing?
Good.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling. Rick.
Rick.
Talk to you later, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, I'm glad you could join us, Willie.
Yeah, I'm here to destroy the liberal agenda.
I wish somebody would destroy it.
In good company.
What's up, guys?
Facts and logic.
Not much. We kind of had to scramble, and so anyway, we were just kind of making fun of some of the over the top
The molding.
Yeah. Just extremism.
About the Roe v. Wade stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like Count Dankula created he changed his profile pic to a justice picture, and everybody's going.
And called himself what was it? Justice Dankula.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Probably the most mad I've ever seen Twitter in at a while, at least. Probably since Trump was in charge or some shit.
That's for fucking sure. Yeah.
So let's see if I can get Willie on the screen here with us right quick.
Yeah. So who else is here? I'm sorry, I don't know everybody on the show. Banana?
Yeah, I'm Banana. Nice to meet you.
What's up?
I'm the co-host of the show, and then we have Nerdy John, who is like a friend of the show that rotates in every now and then. We have a third seat.
I know Nerdy John very well.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Hello.
We usually have a third chair open, and we have people rotate in and out depending on what show. We know we do.
Yeah.
All right.
Mari says exactly, people, people are not used to getting their minds to think worth a fuck.
Well, the thing of it is, like I say, this like I said, I really didn't want to talk about it because I think it's such a new thing, and it's so fresh and raw that I think that people are going to be. I don't want to say hypersensitive, but they're going to be. It's going to be a very.
Oh, it's pretty spicy right now, dude. I know
Yeah.
Hassan's just rubbing his greedy, sweaty little hands together. He's fucking loving it. Anytime there's some big controversy, that guy just starts crushing the viewer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dude,
Well,
like I literally
it's almost
woke
like-
up to him sitting there being like, "That's right, the Republicans are evil. You're dead. He's a Republican. He's fucking evil, and you got to get used to that. And there's no fixing him." I'm like, "Oh my god,
What?
30% of your friends, Republicans, evil. They're all after you. They wouldn't care if they found you dead." I was like,
Yeah.
"Bro, this is crazy."
you know,
He's lukewarm as fuck. Yeah,
I
totally
kinda-
doesn't take any controversial opinions.
I kind of didn't want to, because I kind of get the feeling, Willie, that you're not political. You're like apolitical. Is that kind of right?
I just don't put any
Yeah.
put
So-
any what's it on my bet. Like, I don't know. I don't hedge my bets on politics. I don't
Sure.
think it's all that fantastic.
Well,
Yeah, to be fair, we weren't really being political, Riveter. We were just laughing at fucking Spurg.
well, yeah, but it's a political subject right now. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, but and we do
And
sometimes.
to be fair, I do have
Well-
a picture of Tiananmen Square behind me too, as well. So that's gonna make things.
Nice.
So anyway, what I kind of more or less wanted, I just kind of wanted to have a conversation with you, Willie. So if we could shift
Sure,
gears
shoot.
and get away from the political stuff into some bit safer waters. So I personally, I became aware of you as a content creator. I'm going to say roughly, I don't know, probably 2 to 3 years ago, something like that. It
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was right about the time. I think it was when you made the video about it was a video about the foreheads, where you were trying to save the
Oh,
foreheads.
Susie Liu protects the forehead.
Forehead, yes, yeah.
The forehead initiative. That was a
Yeah,
classic.
Protect the Forehead Initiative.
That's a great video.
I think that's probably when I first became aware of you, because I remember there being a conversation on Twitter between you and somebody, and I don't remember who the other person was, but you were kind of upset because
Probably John Swan. Me and that guy bitched at each other like an old married couple on Twitter, dude,
Yeah.
constantly.
Well, this was about music. This was about copyright music, and you were upset because you couldn't. Your videos were always being claimed because evidently in
I
some of
used a
your
lot
older,
of copyrighted music, and I
Yeah.
didn't care if they were claimed. I didn't like when they would block them worldwide and shit.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
did it all the time.
yeah,
Because I wasn't making money on YouTube at the time, even though I was getting viewership where I probably could have. I just didn't give a shit,
sure,
because the monetization was a lot worse back then than now.
yeah,
So it's like, man, if you said anything back then,
yeah.
like you were getting demonetized. Now it's actually like really lenient comparatively.
So once you kind of agreed to come on the show, I started doing a little bit of a deep dive into what is WillyMac.
Oh Lord, dude.
But because, well, normally when we have somebody on, a guest, especially someone of your prestige,
Really, I got prestige.
you have prestige, man, 100%.
shit. Okay.
Tokens
I'll-
and everything.
We usually try to conduct it more of kind of like a little bit of a not I guess some people would call it an interview, but it's really more of a just impromptu. Now I'm going to say it's probably fairly safe to say that everybody in the stream today probably is well aware of who WillyMac is. Okay, you have really over the last, I'm going to say probably. Like I said, I became aware of you about 2 years ago, but I'm going to say probably even backing up from there a little bit, probably in the last 3 years has really grown.
Yeah,
And-
no, definitely for sure.
And you became, I would say you're probably one of the more respected leaders within the commentary community.
That's such a weird thing to phrase it, but I mean, dude, do you know what's weird with the commentary shit? It's like, in terms of YouTube, there's not many people above like even 1,000 subscribers, when you really think about it.
Yeah.
So you don't actually need that many subscribers to actually be noticed by bigger creators, especially if you're like tweeting at them or using their name or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess since I'm kind of close to 100K, I kind of count as like a little bit bigger of a creator. But yeah, and like you get to the top here, and I remember doing the same shit to the people that were at the top when I was like, 1,000 subs or whatever. You get to the top and you're thinking like, oh, all these guys must be friends, and they're like fucking part of the council or some shit. Yeah, it's like not really, like, or maybe we're friendly or whatever. We talk on stream every now and then, but it's like it's not really like that. It's still you're kind of doing your own shit. And now they just might reply to you.
And now I've noticed, like, from just watching as a I guess a person on the outside looking in, right? And over the years, now every time there's quote unquote been a quote council, the word that you use, that has formed, it always becomes malignant. It becomes
What's that word mean? I don't know what that means.
Malignant, cancerous. It becomes malignant. That's what they use when someone says you have cancer, you have a malignant tumor. It becomes malignant.
I think a good example of that, Riveter, is like whenever you were on that call with all those guys on Nicholas Diorio's stream talking about Ackman's situation. You were like the only one that was being kind of critical there. Of Ackman, and the other guys were like, buddy, like, we're all trying to do this for YouTube. Don't you understand, Willie? Like, they were kind of joking, but they're also kind of going, like, lecturing you a little bit and saying, like, don't you know we're trying to be on the same
thing? It was one of the most AIDS conversations I've ever had, but for sure.
Yeah. Well, in case to point, that's one of the things I think that there are honestly, there's probably 3 people that I actually listen to when it comes to any type of commentary stuff. And the third person I'll mention is not so much in commentary, but has been in it, and I value his opinion. The first person probably that I always go to about things is Tommy. Because Tommy just, Tommy has his bias, and, he has his opinions about people. But he's
pretty upfront about it. Yes. He doesn't really hide anything.
No, not at all. And he's a straight shooter, right? He's not going to tell you one thing.
He's been around the block too.
He's an older guy. He's not quite as old as me, but he's an older guy, right? And so I think we kind of have a little bit of that in common, and so I trust him. The second person is you. And I think the reason why I value your opinions and your videos, because I know when you come into it, you come at it from a fair perspective. And I don't think that you necessarily intentionally are going after it to malign the person or to sink them, right? But you're just saying, hey, you need a wake up. Here's a little bop in the nose, if you will. Wake up, straighten up, get your shit right, and and carry on. Do you? But there's just a few things you need to tweak here a little bit.
Yeah, it just depends on the kind of video you're making, right? Like if you're making a video where, like the Susie Liu one, that was a drama that was well figured out before I ever got my paws on it. So when I went into it, I was like, there's no point in telling her, like, start acting normal. She's been told that 100 times. So let's just be funny. Let's just make a funny video.
Yeah.
But then there's videos like the tea shit where I was like very much the person. I was like the person doing all that shit, especially with like Eugene Acuni and Gabby Hanna, even to like a little bit lesser of extent. I know Nick was pretty involved in the Gabby Hanna shit too, without necessarily making any videos. But it's like when I'm in the drama and I'm the one like initially calling somebody out. Yeah. Like if you're on the internet long enough, eventually you're gonna fuck up and be the person that's shat on. So I just think, you know what? If I fuck up, people can shit on me, but I want them to give me that second. Hey, you got shat on, let you go. So I like to do that to other people, right? Because I know at some point I'm going to fuck up. Everyone does. Everyone.
Well, that's the crazy thing about the Repzilla in those crowd, like going after Eugene Acuni at that time. Yeah. It's like nobody really noticed that they were doing like a little cancel culture thing. But with Eugenia, because she was like to what they thought was her promoting like negative body image. Would that be a good way to put it?
Yeah, honestly, it was one of the crazier movements I've seen on YouTube in terms of like you're just picking on this anorexic girl because you think she's like a mastermind.
Dude, they were worse to her than Onision was.
Dude, at some point they were literally thought she was like trafficking minors through her Twitch chat with like donations. It like made no sense.
What catches my eye in those situations to that kind of behavior is like those people don't understand how rabid they're getting, and then at what point their actions are no longer justified when they're being that vicious to somebody who is otherwise mentally ill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like part of just like view count, you know, like hey, this video is doing really good, so let me make a new video. And every time, you know, like Nick was on a podcast, and he doesn't do this, right? If he doesn't feel like he can add to the conversation, he just won't make a video. If I don't feel like I can add to the conversation, I just make more jokes. So I'm totally cool with just just goofing around, right? But with these people, like they're like, well, I can't add to this conversation because we talked about like all the things that we think she's doing that's problematic. So that means let's just like they essentially just started making up stuff and going like one level deeper and just like more conspiracy theories about it. So videos just got like more and more malicious without maybe them necessarily even knowing what they were doing.
And
they essentially like just willed information into reality.
Yeah. And the other thing too that got very incestuous within that whole little circle was they started citing each other as their sources.
Yeah, no, exactly. It would be like this person said that, so now I'm going to cite them as if that means fucking.
Yeah, Rebzilla did that a lot.
You know, he did it with Bell Aubrey, and literally when we were in a call with him with Rebzilla and Bell Aubrey, like I will say this, and how often do I ever say this, River? This person, Bell Aubrey, is genuinely the dumbest person I've ever talked to. I never call people just like outright stupid. You know, maybe I say they do something stupid. But rarely am I like, this person's a fucking idiot. Right? I wouldn't trust her in the same room if like I turned off the lights in a room she was in. She wouldn't be able to get out, dude. She'd get lost in there.
Yeah.
Like
kind of like that
he left that conversation. I was talking to Repzilla and I'm like, yo, why did you cite this lady for anything? He's like he was like, honestly, I didn't know she was like that. Like it was so funny, man.
But see, I think that's the problem. And I think you pointed it out very well. And that's one of the great things, because you're thorough, right? You ask a lot of questions, and it pisses people off, kind of like what Banana was referencing to that call-in that you had with Ackman. You're simply asking questions because you want to see every avenue. You want to see all the different sides of the coin. Truth. Right. You want to
try to find out what's going on.
As much as possible, right? Because I think a lot of these times, these situations, we're never going to get the real truth, but we could get close, right? And I just never understood why that irritates. And so when people start really protesting and start really griping about that stuff, to me, that's always an indicator, or red flags go up. Okay, they're trying to hide something.
Well, okay, yeah, dude, that's what it makes me think. But here's the thing, like you say, when I ask questions, it gets people caught up. Usually, no, everyone's down to communicate with me. Like I've never had problems getting in contact with people or figuring stuff out. Like even if you go back to the James Charles situation, did I have 8,000 subscribers at the time? And I was getting in contact and being able to have conversations with people and get pointed in directions and whatnot. Yeah. It's just the Actman situation is the only time I've had that. And as it turns out, like he wrote a tweet to me. Oh my God, this tweet, I just fucking love looking at it now because I can just fucking laugh to myself knowing what I know now, right? Let me pull this shit up, dude. It's like he gets so insulted by me wanting to just check his work.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is this thing? Oh, no, I got it on Twitter. That's why. Hold on. So what have you guys thought on the Actman stuff while I'm pulling this shit up?
Well, we did a stream on it last week. And because when this all first started come out, everybody, Nerdy, Banana and myself, we even had a special stream on a Friday night just because when he got demonetized, stuff like that, it was like, okay, yeah, this is that. And then the other shoe kind of dropped, right? And
Yeah.
um,
Well, after the crazy thing to me, like the craziest thing in my opinion, is whenever Tommy called the shot, and
Yeah.
everyone everyone on Twitter thought, oh, just taking shots in the dark. But Tommy's like, no, I'm going to poke him and he's going to show his hand.
yeah,
And then, lo and behold, Nicholas Diorio shows the private DM saying he's going to have Tommy's video flag
well,
down. And
but
I'm like, okay.
well, the thing that was is Tommy and I were having a conversation prior to all that. And to me, the first tip of the hand or the first showing of the hand was actually the Philip DeFranco interview. That was so telling because he was being. I'm not going to say he was being dishonest or whatever, but I'll say that he was being a little bit. What's the term these kids use
Coy.
today?
He's being coy.
Coy. Okay, fine. He was being sus. I think that's the term you guys use is sus.
Sussy.
Yeah.
Been sussy.
He was, when the fact was he knew why he had been demonetized, but he kept it quiet and he wasn't above board about it. And he was alluding to other things initially when he knew what it was. And then he started backtracking, backing off, saying that wasn't Quantum TV actually doing it, whatever. And then it comes out, it came from the fact that, he made that joke tweet about, the doxing of the YouTube employees or whatever. When that happened, and Philip DeFranco kind of had that DNA moment, kind of like the Maury Povich show, whatever, type situation. I was like, okay, there's something here.
I'll tell you why what Tommy did was really smart. It was honestly because of the thread I had with him where I was just asking questions and he's like accusing me of being like a quantum supporter and all this shit, right? Because I did that. Yeah. Tommy looked at this and he's like, oh, this guy's got a massive ego. Let me see how far I can push that and see if we can get him to corrupt. Because the big point was like, should a big YouTuber really be able to just contact YouTube with screenshots to try and get somebody banned? That seems like that could be abused, and that's probably not a good idea. And what we were getting a lot of was like, well, it's Act Man, he's a good guy, and Quantum's so bad. And it's like, Quantum is bad, but, we see good people get pissed and do fucked up shit all the time, right? Yeah. And sure enough, he goes ahead and tries to do that same thing to Tommy. So Tommy just took, like I was talking to Act Man after the fact, because, he's kind of cool enough where, when he fucks up, he kind of he's kind of like a little kid. So maybe you got to bop him on the nose or whatever. And then they'll realize they're being a dickhead, But he goes ahead and he was talking to me. He's like, what I did was wrong or whatever. And he's like, but he's like, I kind of see now what Tommy was doing. I was like, yeah, man, he pulled a commentary classic on you. And he's was able to laugh about it.
It's called a soul read. You ever play poker?
Soul read? No, I didn't know that term.
Yeah, it's a term in poker. Tommy showed it to me the other day. It's where another player calls exactly what the player across from them, if they're in a showdown or a heads up, they call what they have in their hand, or they know what they're doing, and so they tell them. Yeah, it's exactly what Tommy did. He soul read him.
Hey, Riveter, read the tweet above that too with this.
Okay, how far up you want to go?
Right there. That's perfect. Just my tweet and then his tweet that I linked.
Okay. So it says here, WillyMac tweets out, says, all I did on Augie's podcast was to ask questions, so I got direct answers from you. I still have to verify everything you said on Augie's podcast. It's basic research. It's just not me really misunderstanding. This is a good thing for me to do.
Fair statement, right? We all agree?
100%. I mean, again, why I said I go to you and trust you as a legitimate source of information when it comes to these type of situations or stories, right? And then he said, I still have to verify it. LMAO, you already demonstrated your lack of research by not knowing these things. You're uninformed, simply being contrarian for the sake of being contrarian in the face of undeniable evidence.
Well, guess what, motherfucker? You think he's undeniable evidence? Bro, he's gotten shit wrong. That's the funniest part about this whole shit. His ban evasion thing, that's completely untrue. It's verifiably untrue that this guy's not ban evading. Quantum is not ban evading.
Okay. I have done my own research.
Yeah.
The channel, and have you done the where you go and you look at, there's a YouTube channel that was shouting out and linked Quantum Apotheosis.
So that's exactly how you can figure that out. And his theory is that Quantum took that link and made it his custom link.
Sure.
That cannot be the case because that channel's custom link, you could check it, is Next Gen Gamers.
Yeah.
All right. So that other link shouldn't work, or if you click it, it should autocorrect to the new custom link, which is Next Gen Gamers.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It stays the same when you click it. Still displays at the top. That means it's the unique URL.
Okay. Well, I don't know enough about that. All I know is when you go back to the Wayback Machine and you look on the day,
that channel was banned. He appealed the ban, and then it got reinstated.
Okay. Well,
so it's not banning.
So the last time we did cover this, which was the last show, and we pointed that out, I said either one of two things: either A, he is ban evading, or B, he appealed it, got his channel back. I said, if that's the case, how much
proof is on him now?
How much easier would it have been for him to say, no, show the letter that he got back from YouTube, showing that he got the ban overturned and got his channel back? I said, then it stops all this. So knowing that, right? And,
he's got to have an email from 4 years ago, which he just claims he doesn't have.
Okay, and that's fair enough too. The thing of it is, though, is it's hard for, and I'm not doubting your word or anything. Don't take it as that, Willie. But I'm just saying, both of these characters in this scenario are untrustworthy, and it's just
right.
like,
so that's why you got to verify information, because if you just take what they say by word, and it's not that it's somebody's untrustworthy or not. Actman hasn't been verifying the screenshots he's gotten. So, like one of the most famous screenshot he shows for why Quantum should be banned is it's a fake. It's not a real screenshot.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm going
to that be the mischief?
Not that doesn't mean Quantum is innocent of all this stuff. No, he's still guilty, but it's like you're just trying to get this guy banned. You're going ahead and getting all this false information.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing you could do when going after somebody who's fucking up is allow them to play victim.
Sure.
Right? And when you go ahead and you reach and you start fucking up the story and start like going after shit for ban evading when he's not, and you could easily check that he's not.
Yeah.
Or you go ahead and you're spreading around a fake screenshot, which is exactly why YouTube does not take screenshots as real, as evidence, right? You're kind of proving them right there. Then you're allowing Quantum to play victim and be like, look, these guys are just making shit up about me, which he wouldn't necessarily be wrong.
No.
You know?
As far as the ban evasion, with that information, whatever, then I will go with the fact that he appealed it, got the channel back, and which was one of the things that that I stated could very well have been the possibility. As far as having access to an email 4 years ago, but there again, maybe it's because I'm in IT. I'm a pack rat. I save everything. I don't throw anything out.
I don't with YouTube anymore, but definitely when I was a rookie, back in like 2017, 2018, I just would fucking delete everything.
Okay.
Because I just didn't know how important this stuff would be.
Yeah, I mean that's and and you learn and you've moved on from it.
What I'm positive he did is his channel got back on the appeal, but since it had 2 strikes still, because 2 of the strikes were probably stuck. Yeah. And he just appealed the 3rd one and was able to stay up. Yeah. He put his channel on private, all that, which is why it doesn't appear on Social Blade. And then when all these things started to pop up about him ban evading, he's like, well, I'll just unprivate that channel.
Sure.
And then that'll prove it. And then somehow it leads to just making up fucking a conspiracy. That's just like, if you think about it, he'd have to be so big brained to even come up with this. And this guy is not smart. Quantum's a fucking...
No, he's not.
No.
Quantum, this guy says he can't be homophobic because
he's a vegan. Yeah. Yeah, we covered that too.
He's a goddamn idiot, man. He thinks the gays are people... He thinks people are trying to turn him gay. Like, he thinks the LGBT is trying to turn him gay. It's like, bro, I get it. Stuck like a ton of cock. But nobody's trying to get you to turn gay, man.
He also thinks he owns the copyright to his face.
He's just a fucking idiot, man. He's
but but I have a question.
Him and Bella Aubrey should go bowling, man. It's
but I have a question, Willie. And this is
Yeah.
something that's kind of like in the back of my brain is kind of tickling a little bit here, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the most part, I think at this point in time, the whole Ackman Quantum mischief, who all the other players were, Nerdy John, all that stuff, has kind of died down, right? I mean, there's really no, right? Okay, but Quantum is still making videos and putting stuff out about the whole situation. Now, he's not putting it on his main channel. He's putting it on his, The Unconventional Truth. Yeah, he has another channel called The Unconventional Truth that he puts stuff out on. So and I've always kind of thought, all right, this guy, and what I found when I was looking into this, because it seems like he has a long history of doing this type of or getting in this type of interaction, this online beef, if you will, with other YouTubers, mainly tech YouTubers in the past, and some game review channels and stuff. I'm almost wondering, is this how? Is he really stupid, or is he got kind of like crazy like a fox? And is he doing this and because this has been a pattern or a formula that has worked for him in the past and grown him subscribers? Because I noticed, like, when all this first started, his main channel only had I think it was like 65,000 subs, and now last time I looked it was like 68,000. So he's gained about 3,000 subs out of this.
He's getting viewership. He's not really growing all that many subs. I know I definitely wanted to subscribe to him when I was watching like his Elden Ring stuff, because he was talking about how the game's bad because you can't fly a dragon in it, and that shit's just fucking hilarious. The guy's kind of like a clown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it genuinely is just him, though. I think that's who he is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you don't actually think that he's necessarily. You just think he's another one of these. He's another one of these. He can't boil water. He's so dumb he can't boil water.
Mm-hmm. I think he was literally. I would have thought he was a troll if he wasn't striking people.
Yeah.
And if he hasn't been doing it for so long, he's got a video on his channel where he talks. Dude, it's like the best video ever, right? It's so terrible, but it's amazing. Where this guy called My Gadget World is sitting there going like, ask his daughter to come into the room and say, which picture do you like better?
Yeah.
He's playing like that Spider-Man video game or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, the bottom one.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, great. Yeah, thank you, honey. Bye. Dude, this guy watches that video and he makes a whole video about how My Gadget World is abusing his daughter for like YouTube views. It's the craziest video. Like, I've seen it a long time.
Yeah.
And then for him to go ahead and then strike people who just like don't like his opinions or think he's acting like a clown. I don't think he's faking it. Yeah. I don't think he's faking it for clout. And honestly, like, I get it. He's gotten some subscribers out of it. Yeah. It really that much. It's really, he really has not grown for this many millions of people to now know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead, Benny.
Riveter. I think like that's why I changed my stance on this. I was like, I no longer think it's malicious intent. Like, I do like subvertly, but like overtly, he actually believes that he has a legal claim because of the way he's doing things.
But it's malicious in the sense that he believes he's justified in doing it.
Yeah, and because of the way YouTube views copyright, I know how we sit here and we go fair use, fair use, fair use. YouTube can't really make rulings on copyright because there isn't really that many. The people there aren't fucking lawyers, and they want to try and have a hands-off approach with it. So they sit there and look at somebody saying, "Hey, I've only shown 10 seconds of Quantum's video. Why is he able to file a strike on that?" YouTube goes, "Well, you know what? Movie companies do that too every now and then on here. We gotta." Take it to court if you want to deal with it. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I think there's been plenty of precedent set at this time for them to be able to do shit, especially if he's not even filling out the form, which he hasn't on several occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I really think that's where this discussion, should have stayed. If you have a big movement and you got a lot of momentum and you're going viral, right? If your goal is to just shit on the guy, then go for it. Throw everything in the fucking book at him. Dunk on him for everything. I don't give a shit, right? But if you're going to go ahead and like try and get YouTube to work with you and make a response, well, then you got to really aim for that meeting. And the instant you take it to like, you know, hey, YouTube, I'm going to dox and harass your families, and you're just being like sarcastic and coy, and then you're saying the whole company's homophobic because 4 years ago this guy said some fucked up shit on Twitter. You know, you're just blowing it. You're kind of blowing your chance to be able to have any conversation there.
Mm-hmm.
He had a layup, and he tripped on his shoelaces and then broke every bone in his body.
Yeah, I think he was just like, you know, you have all these people telling you you're doing like good things. So instead of actually trying to like have that human conversation with YouTube or anything, it's just more fun and more badass, I guess, to just fucking hit the nuke button and try and blow up YouTube, right?
I mean, I can be that way, so I can kind of resonate with him, but honestly, just the way he's fucking gone about it, especially with trying to being as dishonest as to, you know, go into people's DMs and talk about getting channel struck down because they don't agree with you. It's like, that's
dude, he said to me when I told him that was wrong, he's like, well, we clearly know what side Tommy's on. And he's like, and you need to figure that out too. It's like, bro, who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah. He was on
we're like on the fucking commentary community. Like, we're going to get some DM from a gaming YouTuber and be like, oh no. Like, I don't really understand what the logic there.
Normie logic.
He was on Mudahar's podcast for the second time, and they didn't mention you by name, but he was like, oh, like, well, what did Quantum actually do?
Yeah, that's actually an important thing to know, though. Like, he mocks it, but it's good to know. Like, why would you? It's important to have the details straight in a situation. I don't know why he feels like he's above that.
Why does he have to obfuscate everything? That's the thing that like tricks my like fucking red flags. It's like, why does he have to try to obfuscate anything? If somebody asks a question, he has to be like really defensive. It's like, so what are you doing in the background that's causing you to be so defensive?
The shit he got wrong, I can really chalk it up. Like, I'm totally down to just chalk it up to like, you know, he got tunnel vision, and you know, he overstepped. Whatever. He's not new. He's new to this fucking drama stuff, right? So I can kind of get that. I understand that, but the instant you're being so defensive where you're just mad that I'm even going to look into anything, and then when I find stuff that's wrong, it's like, it just makes me second guess myself and go, did you know he never ban-evaded? Did you know this is how this works? And then you're just kind of like, you were trying to hide it? Like, I don't understand, you know?
No, yeah, it's totally makes perfect sense.
I'm as soon as gonna go on. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying that's why whenever I saw Tommy's stream, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't look into those fucking screenshots well enough because I just took them as above board, like the mischief screenshots. Like, I was like, okay, everything's copacetic because Quantum was that much of a piece of shit that it was really easy to give credence to anyone going against him.
Okay.
Instead of doing the actual critical thinking there.
All right. So we know, talking about, since you brought the mischief screenshots.
What are the mischief screenshots?
Okay. So Mischief put out a tweet saying that he had a video flagged or, you know, DMCA filed or whatever by Quantum TV. Okay.
It's the resolution. Yeah, it says there was it doesn't show that there was a strike. It just says there was a strike that was resolved, right?
Well, the problem, so the problem is Mischief deleted the video rather than filing an appeal and going through the process. He deleted the video. Mm-hmm. All right. Quantum's stance was, well, I released it, and he knew I released it before he did all this brouhaha, whatever else. Okay. And he goes, and he has a screenshot that shows that he released a claim on a video, but we don't know if it's the claim against the Mischief video or not because it's a very small little screenshot. There's not, so
because
there's
he
not
takes
enough,
everything on his phone.
There's not enough context there to, you know, to be able to ascertain exactly if it was. The problem that I saw with it from all that was, and what I don't think Quantum understood was, well, two things happened. One, Mischief deleted the video rather than just filing an appeal and writing it out. The second thing was that he thinks that because he released his claim on it, that nullifies the fact that he filed a claim falsely in our understanding of what fair use is. I'll put it with that way. It's kind of like, I had a very long. I tried to have a conversation with Quantum when all this initially started back very, very. I mean, at the very beginnings of all this, I tried to reach out to the guy and have a conversation with him, and he was not real receptive to that and wound up blocking me. And,
that's when he threatened me.
Yeah, when he threatened Nerdy, that's when I thought, okay, I'm going to step in and try to be an adult in this situation and try to mediate, get some maybe some cooler heads to prevail in this situation, right? So this doesn't blow up and become what it became, right? I tried to be Willie and failed is what happened. And so he blocked me. He was not interested in having the conversation. And then last week when we hopefully, we won't have to cover this ever again. I'm hoping that we can put this as water to the bridge or whatever, but his right-hand guy, Anonymous, was actually in our chat. And he and I had
dude, they couldn't understand. I'm sorry, Riveter, real quick. They couldn't understand how having a little doxing party in their Discord and finding all the information, like the mom's number and shit, was like a wrong thing to do. They literally didn't understand how that was like fucked up.
Dude, I fucking am so sick of talking to Anonymous, dude. Because Quantum won't talk to me, so I got to talk to Anonymous, who then asks Quantum what I said, and then he screenshots what Quantum says and sends it to me. It's like the worst game of telephone. They've been completely useless and uncooperative on that.
Did he ever give you an explanation why he doesn't want to directly communicate with you?
He thinks he can be used against him in the court of law, and he wants to get Willie in writing. He thinks he's a lawyer. Like, that's the thing. That's what I get from him. Sorry.
But he won't even talk to me in text message. He won't talk to me in anything.
Yeah.
The whole thing I'll say is this. In our conversations, Anonymous said that he would guarantee that I wouldn't be banned from their server because I was not doing anything in their server to be disruptive. I wasn't making snide comments.
Are you even allowed to talk? I'm not even allowed to talk in that fucking server.
I don't know.
I got banned from it for doing nothing.
Yeah, well, I'm banned. I got banned from it now too.
Good.
So, and which is fine. What I don't care. It's whatever. But what I will say is this, and because of what I've seen as a history with Quantum and how he handles and deals with things, his chickens are going to come home to roost to him. And what I mean by that is one of these days he is going to file a takedown against somebody. And that somebody is going to file an appeal and force them to go into court. And then what's going to happen is he's going to learn what fair use is. And it's going to be very costly because it's not only is he going to have to pay for his legal fees, but whoever the person is that they wind up in court against, he's going to have to pick up that person's legal fees as well.
I completely disagree. Every time I think if somebody appeals and then he strikes past the appeal and then they take it to the next step, he's just going to drop it. He's going to drop it every time. He's never going to actually take it through that last step.
Well,
so he's going to abuse it in the most fucking annoying way possible, right?
Yeah, probably.
Which is fine when you do it to, like, Keemstar or Ethan, but a lot of people can't even afford that risk.
Yeah.
Because what if he does do something? There's always that 1% chance. I don't think he'll ever do it. But if you're a 16-year-old and your parents suddenly get like a legal notice,
you're like, cut the shit out. Yeah. They're like, what are you doing? You're like, this is no longer, you're not doing this shit anymore. Get off YouTube. It's like,
or even if you're in college or whatever, right? Like it doesn't. What 20-year-old has a bunch of money ready to get sued? 25-year-old, 30-year-old even has money like that.
Hell, and he was intimidating Mischief in the DMs like that too. But the thing is like, why doesn't he take it to court, or why doesn't Ackman? Like, why don't they shut the fuck up? Get
how
off
do they take him to court if he doesn't actually if Quantum never is willing to strike it that far?
But no, not Quantum. I'm saying Quantum. If he has an actual claim, he should get a lawyer, find out the information through a private investigator, and serve them papers like Ackman or people who's trying to strike down.
Because he's a coward. He'll never do it. He's a coward. He will literally never go do that.
So he's just gonna do strikes to do it.
Yeah. I think. I mean,
to be fair,
probably
right.
Stopped.
I don't think there's been anyone new that's been struck, right?
Not that I know. No.
So I think this will be like Susie Liu, where we just bully the fuck out of someone until they knock it off, right? Because that's what happened with her. But it's a shame that it even has to get to that, because even with Susie Liu, people like John Swan were getting community guideline strikes for it. I think another person like Tipster did. He got a couple community guideline strikes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's because the person does not stop initially, YouTube looks at it as like, oh my God, look at these people bullying this person. There's so many videos on this person. This person's made 8 videos on this person. This person's making fun of her forehead. You know, he's calling her boyfriend a cuck. All this shit, right? And so
that's kind of the good.
I understand like how YouTube steps in and ends up making a strike, because they've done this before. This isn't the first time. The problem essentially comes in. It's because they aren't getting punished by YouTube or any entity on the copyright part. So the only way to get them to stop is to literally fucking bully them.
Yeah, and that's a good point that I wanted to bring up too. Do you think it's that there should be more advocacy on behalf of like partners in the program for YouTube to actually have for them to have more contact with their employers, essentially? So like, you know, not like unionizing, but at least have more connections to talk to somebody when shit goes down, instead of just having this fucking, you know, wall between creator and company.
No, because I don't think YouTube wants to do that. You know, like I think it's great. I would love to fucking call up YouTube and have an actual guy to talk to. I don't like talking about shit that'll just never happen. Like, I just don't see that realistically ever happening. You know, how much money do they have to take on, you know? Like these guys we're talking to when doing the community guideline stuff, we don't even know if they're in the United States. They probably get paid like $10, $15 an hour. They might be licensed by another company. You know, that's how monetization shit works. It's like people that they just license out in the Middle East, you know, having to make a call on whether a video should be monetized or not. You know, these aren't like a lawyer or like the YouTube TOS people that are kind of like new, like Actman, like newbies, I guess, view that as like, oh, this is the law. It's like, no, dude, these are purposely vague rules that at any point you could talk somebody into violating at a certain point. So if you're annoying, they could just call you out and give you a strike for it. You know, like the whole point of TOS is so it can be purposely unfair and YouTube could strike you for whatever, but give that illusion that like there's rules.
Fairness. Yeah. You know? And like, I guess the thing is, I'm not trying to draw an ought from an is distinction really too much, but I'm saying like, do you think there should be some kind of apparatus there that's like better? Like, so they're like, do you think there's a way to actually get there for YouTube? And do you think that, like, I know you don't think they have any interest in it because it suits them, their purposes to be able to yeet anyone they want off the platform. But like, do you think there's a pathway there, like realistically, or are you kind of fatalist about it?
As long as they're a private company, and as long as, you know, the government doesn't get involved when dealing with free speech or anything like that. I don't think that'll ever be the case. I don't think it'll ever happen. You know, if that makes sense.
I'll tell you,
because why would they want to undertake that? It doesn't make sense. What I do think can happen is like these little battles that we have won over the years, like being able to say the word shit in the first 30 seconds of a video, or the copyright system used to not have an appeal process.
Yeah.
Right. If they claimed the video, they kept all the money. You know, it never was held on to until the claim was dealt with. Like FouseyTube famously bought a car off of Colossal is Crazy's video because he claimed it for 30 days. And then, because that's as long as you can hang on to the claim, he takes all the money and then he releases the appeal the 28th day and he gets to keep that money still. Yeah, that's how it used to work. You know, we fought and we can win here and there. I really think in terms of the copyright war and like getting people punished for filing false claims or at the very least not filling out the forms correctly, I think we can win there. I think we can get those people punished if we're willing to like actually stay focused enough to do it. You know?
Have you ever heard have you guys ever heard
like it's small back? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Have you guys
that makes perfect sense.
Have you guys ever heard the old expression, you get what you pay for?
Yes.
Okay. So part of my job for the last 20 years is I have to administer Google for the company that I work for and the one that I worked for previously. and we have to administer all the stuff back in and stuff Google, right? And as long as you are a paid customer, they have a direct line communication. You can get support. And you're bypassing the level 1 support like Willie's talking about. But you actually get into people who actually know stuff, right? They're not just following a script in front of them, right? So if YouTube ever, which Google, okay, let's be honest, if Google ever implements something to where YouTubers can subscribe to a service, if you will, that gives them access to that type of support, tier support, then to answer your question, Banana, yeah, it will, because right now what you have to understand is I don't believe YouTube really makes Google a lot of money in relationship to what it costs them. Yeah, what it costs them to have it out there. No.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was true like maybe 4 years ago. I'm pretty sure now that YouTube makes hand over fist because storage is so cheap nowadays. Video doesn't take nearly as back in the day, like in 2016, especially. Storage costed a lot of money, right? It would be like $180 for 128 gigabyte SD card. Now, dude, storage is really cheap. So I'm pretty sure you can look up. YouTube actually makes hella profit now.
Okay, well that might have changed, but like I said, I know that if they ever go to something like that, where again that would have to involve YouTubers paying a monthly subscription fee, right, if you will. And I think that some of the bigger ones probably would do that to ensure that they get a direct line of communication to the level of support that they need to get whatever. So
I mean, that is kind of the thing where you get big enough, and then Charlie's got like a pretty direct line, and and Keem and some of these people. So if you get big enough, you kind of can.
They need to iron out for like the lower tiers though, for sure.
The lower people just get fucked. Like if you're under like honestly, I'll say like if you're under 100K, right, and you don't know somebody, all right, so you probably know somebody at 100K. So let me say if you're under 20K, 30K, right, and you go ahead and you get strikes, you just got to fucking deal with it, and they could be unfair as hell. Like I've had some of the most unfair strikes on videos where I've had to stick out with like 2 strikes on my channel at a time, where I got my first ever sponsor and I had a link to the sponsor. Well, YouTube gave me a strike for illegal link.
Oh yeah.
And it's and then they gave me another strike on that exact same video for promoting the link. So one for the link and one for saying that there was a link in my description, right? That's not fair. I don't think that would stick if I was, I'm at my size now with the connections I have now. But at the time, it's like, well, fuck me. I guess I'm just in trouble now. I guess I'm just in fuck.
And I guess I guess I agree too that over time it will get ironed out. Just a very slow, tedious process that costs a lot of money for people who are getting fucked. But I don't know. Maybe there's something to deal with the Section 230 protections. There's something in there that might,
I think that will literally change everything. It's something that it's like one of the few things that Democrats and Republicans agree is like too powerful. Because these internet companies, that was like good for them when they were small and they could get sued by everybody. But now they're the biggest companies in the United States, some of the biggest companies in the world, right?
Well, it works across purposes though, because it kind of fucks you on the free speech end too. It's like if it's a platform and you could be sued, so they no longer have the protections from being sued, right?
Well, kind of, right? So how it works is they either got to have rules that are super black and white, right? Or that means that like if they wrongly ban somebody, that means they could totally get sued for it. They don't have the same protections.
That's gonna be
whereas so it's almost better for them. The reason why people like the Republican Party, like Trump, want to get rid of Section 230 is because that puts these platforms in such a bad spot. They would almost have to get rid of regulations altogether because it would be too much of a liability to have anything. If you just said up. So what you could do is like their rules would have to be like no porn, no hitting children, and then anything beyond that, they'd basically just have to let slide, or they'd be open to being sued if it wasn't enforced equally.
Or it'd be like fucking. I'm sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, or it'd be like PBS, where it's literally just censor city. It's like it's just
right. But does the company still think they'd be able to do well under the?
Well, they'd have to. That's the problem.
So it'd probably be more viable for them just to have everything just be a Wild West again. you know,
Yeah.
which I'm totally up for it. I just don't think that's necessarily realistic. It'll probably be like adjusted in a small way where it doesn't do much of anything. You know, maybe it's a little bit better. Where I'm hoping these go is like social media is, it's kind of naturally a monopoly, right? Where each platform kind of does their one niche the best, and then everybody else is, you know, everybody else is fucked because everyone wants to be on the same website. You know, I want it, like the reason there can only really be one
Centralization.
Twitter is because you want to be on the same website as like the Kardashians and the president and all these other things, you know? And
Well, it's more convenient too.
yeah, like only one social media per niche can win. That's just how it tends to work. So I would love if some like free speech thing got implemented, or just some, if we aren't going to go free speech, just make it like a ban rule. Like, yeah, most you can be banned is a year. After a year, you have to be allowed back.
I like that. Yeah.
Like I think there's it makes no sense to keep somebody off the internet when this is like the modern day public square, right? Because they're saying mean shit, you know? Fucking homeless people outside my fucking apartment every day say crazy shit, right? Like they're still able to say it. I just go, oh, they're crazy. I don't get radicalized by it. You know, it's kind of like a fake fear we have of like, just because we read a tweet that's fucked up, suddenly we're going to be fucked up.
Yeah, well, you're not a petty authoritarian. You don't look to fucking accost people for what they're saying.
I love crazy people. I could make more videos on them.
Exactly.
If we ban every crazy person, who else do I have to make fun of? You know?
Good point.
Speaking of radicalization, did you know that PewDiePie is responsible for the radicalization of
Good segue.
a vast majority of the youth that now engage in YouTube?
Yeah, is that tweet?
No. This is our favorite dumbass, Def Noodles.
Fuck.
Oh,
Have you seen this?
No, I don't pay attention to him at all.
Okay, so he put out a video, and he says the reason why. And I'll bring it up here for the viewers at home so they can see what I'm talking about here. But anyway, so what happened is Def Noodle puts out this video, and he states in here the reason why that PewDiePie is responsible for radicalizing an entire generation of children. You ready for this? Is because he had the alt-right YouTuber Ben Shapiro, and he platformed him.
Oh, you mean like for that one meme review?
Yeah, the meme review thing. Yeah.
That like 2 minute.
Oh my god! So I made a joke about this on my stream last night, and it goes, "So wait, Def Noodles is talking about how this Jewish person has been able to infiltrate the media and started making propaganda and influence the country. Tell me something, guys. Wasn't there a funny mustache man in the '40s who said something similar?"
Yeah, you know, like Dennis was sitting there thinking about that too, the premise, and he was like, "Oh, I nailed him. Like, I got this." It's like this is the biggest brain fucking 40 chess move ever. He had Ben Shapiro on.
I don't agree with Ben on everything either, right? I think he can act like kind of a clown a lot of the time, right? I just don't understand where it's like I don't know, we fucking turn these people into like supervillains. You would think Ben Shapiro is like the most powerful man, like pulling all these fucking strings.
Yeah,
like him just appearing on PewDiePie is somehow like corrupted the fucking youth or some shit.
And then like we have to remember this is the same dude who said wet ass P word.
Dude, can we see can we hear this clip? I kind of want to hear this.
Sure, here we go.
Let's get to it. Irrelevant news. So PewDiePie is currently trending on Twitter. Let's see why.
I ruined an entire generation of teenage boys starter pack.
Oh, would you look at that? It's 2016 YouTube all over again. Anyway, seems like people are taking that tweet very well.
Having Felix here with Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan is actually insane.
Okay, please explain.
Why is PewDiePie there? Why did two murderers say subscribe to PewDiePie before committing mass murder?
Oh, wow. They're going out for the kill.
Oh, my God. This is getting right into it.
No problem.
Yeah.
PewDiePie promoted actual Nazism.
Yes, the era of ironic racism and Nazism on YouTube. Who doesn't miss that? I know I don't.
Had Ben Shapiro on his channel.
We could maybe give PewDiePie a break on that one because at one point, a lot of the major YouTubers were featuring Ben Shapiro on their channel. I mean, even fucking Logan Paul talked to Ben for about an hour on his podcast. Actually, I should rephrase that. Sat in front of Ben Shapiro for an hour on his podcast while Mike Malak talked out of his ass for an hour and tried to not get them all canceled. Did a lot of the major YouTubers help soften Ben Shapiro's image by sitting down and having a conversation with him and presenting him in a positive light or presenting him in a meme-like, funny light? Yes. Did they potentially radicalize part of their millions of followers? Yes. Is there anything that we can
Pause
do?
this shit.
I love the SpongeBob background.
Yeah. One, why is he giving this speech in SpongeBob's house, bro? But two, like, what is the word? The word radicalized can just be thrown around constantly. It just means like fucking Republican on the internet. It's so fucking whack, dude.
Oh yeah. Well,
it's like if he had to sit there and actually describe what PewDiePie said that was so radical, what would it be?
The bridge, I think.
Right. So the thing that even he apologizes for, right, and knows was wrong, and everyone was like, yeah, that was wrong. But like, how did he radicalize an entire generation? That one bridge thing that defines
No, that was it. That was the dog whistle. You missed it? That's the power of the alt-right. That's
like it's just so fucking clown. Like you want like all these people that are fucking like lefty loonies, right? They just wonder like why do we not have more people from like the center on our side? It's like, dude, because you sound nuts, bro. This shit sounds actually nuts.
Yeah, you're cult leaders. Fucking
Yeah.
religious acolytes.
that's the thing that I guess
Think like I do. Be like me.
I'm a more centrist person, and I see this kind of stuff. I'm like, look, okay, we get it. We have some alt-righters out here that are complete and total wackadoodle. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't argue with you. But do you not see that you're the opposite side of that coin, and you're just as wackadoodle?
No, they don't. That's the funniest part. They're so fucking non-self-aware. They're like, they don't realize they're the exact same person. They're
Part
just
of me
on the
thinks it's like all a grift and that they aren't like you aren't trying to actually convert people. You're just here to like feed the rage. Like this.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like Hassan is
No.
this whole thing is like when any of this shit happens isn't to actually talk about it. It's just to throw
outrage farming.
fuel on the
Outrage
fire.
farming.
Yeah, throw fuel on the fire.
They're nihilists. They don't care about anything.
In Def Noodles' instance, he's trying to cater towards his like wine mom audience while also getting into the good graces of Ethan Klein.
Wine mom audience. That's
I
hilarious.
just feel like he's probably, I don't know, he probably is harming his channel more than he's doing good with this shit. Like, look at the dislikes on this thing.
Yeah, he's got 1.3K dislikes and 2.4K
So,
likes. Yeah.
Nerdy John, you're saying that Def Noodles' primary demo is fucking wine moms on Valium? Just fucking pilled out watching
Probably the only, one to understand his content.
Dude, if I saw moms just watching Def Noodles sitting in a SpongeBob house bitching about PewDiePie, I'd be really concerned for those moms. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no clue what his audience is.
Shouldn't they be making
sandwiches
and drinking
I'm convinced they're all bots or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, he has like the remnants of like the T audience because that's kind of what Ethan has. It's because like everyone called him out when he was doing like the false essay stuff, and now he's just moving on to like, okay, well, let's just accuse everyone of being alt-right. Like like he made a tweet when he still had Twitter, like trying to criticize Tana Mojo for having a cross on her necklace. When the cross in question was a religious item that even like the English royal family had, he was trying to call her a Nazi for having it.
I mean, why can't she have a cross?
The Iron Cross? Is that what you're saying, John?
No, it wasn't even the Iron Cross, but it was like it was shaped almost like it, to like it where it could be kind of similar. And so he was trying to equate that to Nazis.
Cross, like
I'm about to say, dude, yeah, they might they might have some credence if it's a fucking Iron Cross. Jesus.
No, it wasn't an Iron Cross.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, she could like Harley Davidson or something.
If I'm gonna be honest, I think just politics is like really poisonous. Like everybody already has their beliefs, and nobody's actually trying to. They just want to hear about how the other side is like so fucked up. That's what Ben does. That's what Hassan does. That's just what all these people do. Steven Crowder does the same thing. You know, you're just trying to. Like, it's the only genre you could go into and already have a fucking team. Like, you don't have to build anything up. You already have a team that's going to cheer for you. I don't know.
That's so good. That's a good.
Unless you're centrist. I think if you're a centrist, politically aligned centrist, I think you would actually get squashed.
Yeah, we're called centrist pigs, by the way.
Yeah, I don't. That's why there's no centrist political YouTubers. They're all just like fucking normal people that just like are into fucking Pokemon cards or whatever their dumb niche internet nerd thing is. You know, like people actually have passions that aren't just like screaming at the trending tweet on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Matt Pitt sent me a picture of the Queen's necklace, and it's like a little, you know, that little like fucking, like the ball with the cross on top. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that was what it was.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Okay,
So-
that's fucking stupid. Anyway,
So
sorry.
I have a question for Willie. Do you still claim to be the number one source for tea?
Yeah,
stand with your
I am the number one tea channel. I'm building up the tea community again, brick teabag by teabag.
Yeah.
So it's like all the tea channels just kind of like rebranded after I went and shat on them.
Okay, so my question is are you up to date on the latest tea coming out about Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein?
No, what is the new tea there? That Trisha's like my favorite YouTuber.
Okay, so watch this. I got a little segment here for you to watch because make you aware of this because you might want to take some notes here. Okay.
All right, we'll do.
Oh, here we go.
H3 is also being sued for the merchandise that they made money on and cut Trisha off from. I'm gonna just throw it out there. If Trisha gets mad at me,
It's coming from Rich Lux.
Live tonight.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go, guys. We got the infamous J.
So, what this was?
I love the Battlefield 2 fucking music. It's just,
what that is?
Yeah, I don't know. It just sounds like it.
So Rich released a video a couple of days ago, and he's having I guess it's like a FaceTime conversation or something with this person, and this person claims to be part of a legal team or a legal firm that is representing Trisha Paytas. And she is an actual legal aid or paralegal, rather.
Trisha's legal aid is calling into Rich Lux.
Yeah, her paralegal. I'm sorry, she's a paralegal for this firm. And what she goes on, because it's like a 30-minute video, and I'm not going to waste our time with all this. But in the TLDR is that she is suing H3H3 and Helia, I guess. For the lost revenue off of the merchandise for the frenemies merch that they had.
I mean, that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, that one, okay, that to me is a no-brainer. But she then goes on to say that she is suing Ethan, and specifically, I don't know if she mentions Helia on this part. And she says there are some drama tubers that is going to be in this litigation as well that is going to be sued for defamation.
Even though Trisha was like very much a part of that defamation.
Well, if you listen to the video and if you want the video, or you go to Rich's channel, you know, I'm sure you're familiar with Rich Lux, but
yeah.
Later on in the video, she says it all stems from Ethan went on the Howie Mandel podcast. And I don't know if you know where Howie Mandel has a podcast, but he does. He has a podcast with his daughter.
Dude, your mod is going after Reynolds Hughes for saying T-tard.
I know.
T-tard. Look, he's just mad, Reynolds, because you're a T-tard and he's not. All right? T-tard Nation never backs down. You don't need to explain anything to him.
No, it's okay.
Zero's a very big fan of ours, and he's just trying to go to war with it for us on our behalf. Zero, we appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, it's okay, Zero. They can say T-tard. It's quite all right.
Yeah.
I actually like to lay that claim to myself as being a T-tard. So
I'm a big T-tard, dude.
So I'm embracing it. But anyway, what she says is there were some statements made in that podcast by Ethan is what prompted this lawsuit. Now, when I listened to the podcast, and I'll be damned if I could find anything in there that Ethan said that was so just atrocious that would trigger and let's be honest, it doesn't. I don't think take a whole lot to trigger Trisha to begin with, right? That would cause her to trigger to make.
She's got BPD. She's fucking nuts.
But according to this person that's having this conversation with Rich, this announcement is going to come like late July. So maybe something to kind of keep our eyes on to see if it actually happens. So
I mean, dude, yeah, I don't know how seriously I take that, because why the hell would someone from Trisha's legal thing call Rich Lux? It's like that doesn't.
That's what I was thinking last night.
Goofy. You know, like I don't know. Whenever I see it, I think like 99% of the time I'm just like, this has to be bullshit. And plus, until I see Ethan on his fucking show talk about it, which he would, I'm not going to believe it. You know, if she's suing because of she needs part of the revenue from that merch sale or whatever, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense to me, you know, but it also just seems like that could just be some bullshit thing where Rich heard somebody say that and now is just taking some random ass phone call because he got an email, you know?
Yeah. Because like I feel like if there was any inkling of a lawsuit, I feel like Keem would have talked about it already.
I feel like Trisha would have talked about it.
Yeah.
Trisha's like,
we're taking out the word of a dude that's dressed like a chess piece right now. So it's like,
hey, according to my analytics, Rich Lux is sub to my channel, so I think he's a cool dude.
I honestly do like Rich. I think his shit's funny and he's like a total character. But at the same time, I don't necessarily take what he says or reports on is all that true at all. You know, there's some serious receipts.
Guys, we have to remember the golden rule though. If it's on YouTube, it has to be true because there's nothing fake on YouTube.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cough right into the microphone, Nerdy John.
Hey, you know, Actman would tell us right now that this is overwhelming evidence from Rich Lux. I'm talking to somebody on set right now. There's no need to verify it. It must be true.
New war started. Old war over.
Yeah.
So anyway, I kind of want to get off the trending topics, maybe come back around just for a little bit and ask you. I was watching some of your really older videos. And one of the things that I came across was what in the world happened to your video?
No, this is super cringe. Yeah.
Hang on a second here. We lost. What the crap? Oh, okay. Nerdy dropped.
Did you lose Banana?
No, that's okay. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't lose Banana.
Yeah, I think I was kidding when I was joking with Nerdy John, but he may just had to leave. But Matt Pitt says JFA's birthday is today. Happy birthday, JFA! Got a birthday in the chat. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was trying to get the screen fixed. So let me just come back down here to this. So I came across this video, and this is a video of on your channel. It's one of your older videos, and I'm not going to show it. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, because I've got some really cringy shit on my channel back in the day. Oh well. Yeah. But I don't want to. But there was something here I really found interesting about when I was listening to this video. And in this video, you state that you were working as a dockhand. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah, I was a factory. I haven't seen this in a long time, but I was a factory worker that I drove forklifts essentially at like a lunch meat factory.
Okay. But anyway. In this video, you were talking about how you went off to college, that it prompted you to go off to college, rather. And how, I guess, basically, because through YouTube, you learned or found that you had a passion for video editing, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
And so and so this was like, I think it was like you had gotten 420 subs, I think, at this point. And this is only 500
subs, according to the thumbnail.
Okay, 500 subs. Okay, I'm sorry, 500 subs, and this was only 5 years ago.
Look at the font I used. Fantastic, go for it.
But anyway,
constitutional fucking font.
Yeah, but anyway, so now you're pushing 94,000 subs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in just 5 years, your channel has completely and totally blown up, right?
Some people would view that as like really slow though. Like Keem gives me shit all the time. He's like, "Look at Willie, it took you 5 years."
Well, I don't know if I would. Okay, fine, because I know there's other people that have grown, that have exploded overnight, right?
Yeah.
But if you go to my personal YouTube channel where I'll make stuff, I've been a member on here since 2012, so basically about the same time frame, right?
Yeah, no, I was here since 2013 with this channel, I think.
Yeah, and so I've got like, I think I'm up to 78 subs now. So woohoo, go me, right?
Yeah.
But so I don't necessarily say, oh, it's taking too long. I think as long as you're growing, right, and you're having progression or progress forward, I think that's good. I mean,
the reason why like these old videos are up on my channel is like, if you think I don't look at this old shit and think it's fucking awful and cringe super hard, I absolutely do. But it's because, everybody starts somewhere. I think this is when my channel first started to gain like an inkling of growth. Like when you're able to actually like get over 100 and keep gaining people after that, that is actually like kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
For you at the time, at least as a creator. So it's like, I think it's just one of those things where I don't want to get rid of these old videos because I want other people to look at them and be like, oh my God, he sucked ass too. He sucks ass way more than me. That means I can go ahead and make videos and do good because he's actually improved and, has figured out his stuff. So I don't like to delete my old shit, even though, man, I got some really embarrassing shit back there. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's good for small people to look at.
Sure. I wouldn't say that it's bad. I actually enjoyed it. One of the things I found was probably one of the most humorous things of it was you have a clip where you're actually taking a shit on your desk.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a real shit, obviously, but
of course not.
Nick DiOrio makes fun of me for that one all the time. It's like, but yeah, no, I just thought, oh, this will be hilarious, and you look back, it's like, no, this fucking a terrible joke.
Well, okay, I didn't know. I guess basically when I started, like I said, I kind of did a little bit of a deep dive just to kind of more familiarize myself because I wanted to ask you some questions about your career, as it were. Like I didn't know that once you graduated film school that you went on and you've done commercials and so you've had some commercial success as well. So I mean, it's not just.
I mean, like minimal. Like I worked at like Telemundo for a while, which is a Spanish speaking channel.
Sure.
And then I did like training videos for a little while too.
Do you speak Spanish?
No, I picked up a little bit here and there. What was funny for that shit is like we'd go to these big conference meetings. It would be like some in like a Spanish neighborhood. Maybe it would be like somebody wrote a book that's coming out, or maybe it was something like people are running for mayor or some shit.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go ahead and get interviews of all these people, but at the beginning they'd be like, no habla inglés, no habla inglés, and I'd be like, what do you mean you don't speak English? Like you're running for fucking mayor of Chicago. Like you have to speak English. There's like no chance. And sure enough, like the last 40 minutes would be coming down to the event, and there would be alcohol there. So all these people would be like a few beers deep or whatever. And then they'd like put their arm around me and they'd be all down to talk. And I'd have to like get interviews like really fast then.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
It was a good time.
So do you still, I guess you're still in the industry then? I mean,
no, not at all. Like, I end up actually like bailing on almost all of that shit when I met my lady and we end up going to like her, she was going to grad school.
Sure.
So I was like, you know what, I'll just move. And I end up doing like some photography stuff down there, which sounds cooler than it was. It was a shitty job. And then I worked at like a baseball park for like semi-pro for like AA.
Yeah.
Doing photography stuff and running camera there. And now I pretty much just do YouTube,
Okay. So you consider yourself a full-time YouTuber then at this point?
Yeah. As of like September 2021. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So looking back, because I try to find something, but evidently you used to be also on another platform called
VidMe.
VidMe, yes. But I guess that platform is no longer a thing.
Yeah, it's a porn site now.
Awesome. So you got some videos on there we can go check out, or?
No. So the site went out of business. So it just said like, sorry, because again, posting video back in the day, that was a lot more expensive than it is now.
Sure.
But they were like, sorry, thank you, and it just was like a sorry, we're like out of business page.
Sure.
Well, eventually, like a porn site bought that URL, vid.me. Yeah. And I was linking to porn for fucking years because I had an auto link every time I upload that just went to my VidMe on YouTube. And so, yeah, it wasn't until somebody pointed it out to me where I was like, oh, fuck, I need to delete all of this shit. I'm so lucky I didn't get a strike over it.
Oh, I'm rolling. That is
awesome.
But VidMe was really good because the problem with YouTube, especially when you're small, and like maybe you don't necessarily feel that way because you you can talk to Tommy and Dave and shit like that.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, like, I couldn't talk to like fucking anybody. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't know anybody. There was no like shows that I knew about where you could like call into and start to make connections there, any of that. So when you're making garbage fucking content on YouTube, it's hard to know if what you're making is bad because you're the one making it.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just throwing stuff into the wind because you have 0 subs. Is nobody watching my vid and subscribing because my video is bad, or is nobody watching my vid and subscribing because nobody's seeing it?
That's the weird thing about Twitch is like, sorry, but that's the weird thing about Twitch is like getting on and streaming live and then trying to like put on a performance for literally no one.
For nobody. Twitch seriously has that problem for sure. So what was good about VidMe is their website had no algorithm. So it would just be the people who ran the website had like 3-4 people that would go down. If they saw a video they thought was good, they just put you on the front page. And you would be like, all right, this, and it would automatically set you to 1,000 views. So that was like 0 if you got put on the front page. So 1,000 views was just the threshold to make it. So they would artificially up you to that, and then every view you got after that. So I'd be like, all right, I'm on the front page. I'm getting no viewers and no subs. That means this video sucks. And you could actually figure that out yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas, because there was like a nice little community on VidMe. Whereas on YouTube, I remember having a hard time knowing, like, is my content just bad or is nobody just seeing it? You know, I think that's a hard thing to figure out. It's hard to figure out when you're really sucking ass and like what to do to make it better. You know,
I know when the pandemic hit and I was told to work from home, right? In the IT industry, I'm one of the lucky people that could work from home, and it was disruptive as far as to my whole, work schedule. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I found that I had a lot of free time during the day. And I had tried the whole YouTube thing back in the day, and I was like, I'm not. It just wasn't doing it. Like you said, no views, and back then I had no one I could talk to. I didn't talk to Tommy. I didn't talk to Dave. I sure as hell wasn't talking to somebody like you, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I was like, how? And I'll put it out there. I'm an older guy, right? And even though I do technology for a living, I wasn't raised in technology, right? So there's a difference. And so I didn't understand all the intricacies and stuff that comes along with trying to be a quote YouTuber. But then when the pandemic hit and stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna start making videos, and I started paying closer attention to, and I got some tools and stuff that kind of helped me, and I started noticing, like the titling of the video, certain tags that you would put in the tags for the video, things like that, And I can remember like the very first video I ever did that really blew up was actually a Susie Lou video when all that was going on, and I think I got like 400 or 500 views on it, and I was like, holy shit, I went viral. I didn't, of course. 400 or 500 views, but to me that felt viral. You know, that
No,
felt,
that's like hitting. That's like finding $1 million.
oh, I was ecstatic. And then I started learning. I said, okay, I knew, like, from dealing with through corporate America and all the years that I worked in corporate America, I said, okay, another intricate thing that I can see this part of this whole package is networking, right? And it's about making contacts and making whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how, as an old man, am I going to relate to this younger generation, and how am I going to be able to network, as it were, right? And I've been lucky. When I decided I want to start trying to do a podcast, because I felt like that was more in line with what my abilities are, because I cannot edit for shit, right? So I thought, well, this might be, and so I don't know exactly how it happened, but Banana and I made contact because he was wanting to do a podcast as well, and we started this podcast a little over a year. We're approaching our second year, and we've been very fortunate. We've had people like you on here. Dave has come on. AC's been on. Matt Pitt has been on.
I could tell you guys, like, right now, like, what sucks with YouTube, like, now more than when I was, like, kind of figuring shit out. Your titles matter more than ever, and your thumbnails matter more than ever. Like, just looking at your guys' title, that Cam podcast thing that at the beginning, that should go towards the end.
Okay.
Okay. And your title should always be, and it's just how the algorithm is probably been since like June of last year. It's just got to be like, what is the one kind of clickbaity thing? What is the one thing that is going to be talked about that, just put that right at the beginning.
Okay.
In terms of thumbnails, I don't know. I don't know what the thumbnail for this even looks like at the moment, but like, yeah, just have whoever you're interviewing exit, and whatever controversy you want to talk about or whatever thing, just have that first. So I really do think like, there's a lot of small tips that you just don't figure out, when you're small, and you never know, because nobody tells you.
Yeah, well, that's the worst part. It's like trial and error. It's like, because like I'm not any better help with Riveter, unfortunately, because I'm worse than him at technology. So, I can't be of any service there. But like, yeah, just like figuring out like what we are doing to like fucking shoot ourselves in the foot has been the biggest.
So
challenge.
I'd say that for sure. I'd also say like for the smaller channels you have, the slower they are to add what is it called? Like transcripts, right? Yeah. So that you probably have old podcasts, like shit you uploaded this week that doesn't have a transcript on it. So because you're a smaller channel, and because your videos are live streams, so the best thing you can do is fill out your description. It does not have to be coherent. It could just be fucking nonsensical, rambly sentences. Just put it in there so it shows up in search. There's all sorts of small things that you can do and should do. Like I say, steal tags. Do you guys use Google Chrome?
Yeah, I've got
vidIQ.
Yeah, vidIQ. That's what I use. I go out there and
steal people's tags. If you go to talk about someone, what are the successful videos, and just fucking steal their tags. Put their title tags.
I can remember back in the day, and you may remember this too, Willie.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
When Tommy made it a thing about go around and steal him, and he would steal Keem's tags just to piss Keem off.
And Keem thought like he owned the tags videos. Like,
yeah, it was. I was like, yeah. So like I say, I may not be the sharpest tack in the box, but I'm not dumb either. And so I've picked up a few things over the years and stuff, and we've had a few successful videos, podcasting like this, especially long format, like what we tend to do. It's not, people's attention span most of the time is not, it's just not there.
I always disagrre with you on this. I think people like really do like, if you have something to talk about and you like captivate them, and you like, you're not bullshitting them. You're just talking, like speaking like your experience and shit. They'll stick around.
I agree.
I don't know. I
agree. They're right. YouTube is so big. There's an audience for everybody on it. Of course, there's like the meta where Mr. Beast is like, what is the fastest paced video I can make? And he's crushing it. But there's always an audience for other stuff. YouTube is no longer like, I had to tell Tommy this, like, like last year or some shit. YouTube is no longer a place where it's only young people succeeding. Some of the fastest growing channels since 2020 have been people that are 45 and older.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody watches YouTube now. Everybody. You know, my mom and dad, they primarily watch YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those 45-year-olds aren't filling their house with Orbeez, you know. So
yeah, they aren't watching Mr. Beast, right? They're trying to watch people their age that are doing shit. And they like the drama and all that too. Like as we've noticed with as like I've noticed, right? A lot of my audience is like some of these older women now, right?
Yeah.
That like the wine mom shit, right?
Yeah.
The wine mom memes, right? Well, it's like because they like to have fun too. They like to know what the fuck's going on too. That's not a young person thing. Everybody likes that shit.
Yeah, it's gossip.
You know, my mom is 74 years old, right? And she's tried to watch a few of our podcasts, but she's like Deepwater Southern Baptist, and so we use a little bit too colorful language a lot of times, and she just can't, you know. And she
I was really bad. I toned down. I was really, really bad, like the first fucking season. Yeah, I was using like C words and shit.
So I'd go ahead and just like with your guys' show, the number one thing you can do when you're trying to grow is just look at whatever your last episode was or last thing was, and you just go like, all right, what is something I can improve here a little bit more? Obviously, the title shit, there's small stuff like that. Yeah. Product is what matters the most. And just always try and make your next video just a little bit better. Yeah. You know, I think that's a good way to go about it. Like if you look at like even my shit, I think I've done a good job where no matter what, I'm still trying new things and trying to make videos a little bit better or whatever. Now every now and then I just don't give a fuck and I upload some fucking meme video. Yeah. But you know, when you get enough views, you can kind of do that shit where you can put it on cruise control a little bit more. But when you're growing, always just watch your last video back. Say, you know, what was the thing we could have done different here, or what is a way we could improve this here? You know,
that's something we really learned at. Because we would try to do like we early on in the show we had like overburdened ourselves with trying to figure out what we were gonna do, and so we'd come to the end of the week and have like this weird mix mash of different topics. Yeah, and it wouldn't there was really no cohesion there, so we figured out how to like hone in on like a topic and then tie other things into it to make like a cohesive narrative. And so like I think that's one thing that we've gotten better at. But yeah, I really like because nobody likes to fucking sit there and look back at a video and cringe because they put forth like minimal effort.
Yeah, it's just important because you're still learning, especially in the podcast space. Like probably good things to do is just like look at your peers and people doing similar stuff and just try and do that. Like I think you guys are already doing good. You're having guests on and shit. You know, that's probably like and you guys have 162 subs. That ain't bad.
Woo! We've had a real sudden growth spurt, and we're very, we're very appreciative of that. You know, I think one of the other things that I have focused on more is of course because I run everything as far as the technology stuff. Was getting where because audio when we first started doing it was atrocious at times. Yeah, it was just if it could happen, it was a train wreck, you know. But
we had a whole episode where my mic was muted.
Yeah, it's just. But I've made some adjustments, and and I think we've gotten a lot better on our technology and how to do. Or at least I've learned. So,
just the reality is like YouTube is kind of a race against yourself, and it's a marathon, not a sprint for most people. Of course, there's going to be somebody like Jelly Bean who's fucking 16 years old and gets a 10 million subscribers or whatever. But dude, I've been trying so fucking hard since 2013. So what? I was 15 years old. My shit sucked. And you know what? You just, it's a race against yourself. It's a race against yourself when it comes to YouTube.
Yeah.
You just got to be down to just like play that game and grind it out. It does not happen overnight for 99.9% of people. If you look at like game theory, like that, I know people hate him now for like a lot of people don't like him for whatever reason, but Matt Pat from Game Theory, his channel took forever to grow. That guy did stuff forever until he finally found like that one formula and like kind of milked it to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we have Yeah, we don't have anybody waiting room to call. So just so everybody knows, in the description down below, I've got all of Willie's information. I've got his Twitter. I've got his YouTube channel. And if you want to be super duper cool like me, I've got a link to his Patreon so you can subscribe to him.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that, you know, subscribing to a YouTube channel or things like that, that's fine, good, whatever. But like I say, Willie also has a Patreon, and that's where I personally have subscribed to, because I think it's important that if there's a content creator out there that you like the content that they're creating, support them in some way, right? If they're large enough to where they've got monetization, they have a subscription, subscribe to them. If they don't have that and they have a Patreon, subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon's just a great tool if you just want to be generous and throw like a little bit extra in there or whatever, you know, because you know, I understand like nobody likes ads, and a lot of people do use the good old ad block, and I'm not going to shit on anybody for it, but Patreon's a good way to like cover for that stuff. You know?
Yeah. You know, one of the things that, you know, Banana and I always were kind of hesitant about even doing was having like the donations, whatever, right? So people could donate and whatever. And we've been
donations are great. Wow, it's like the funniest part of Shot from the Point.
Yeah, yeah. And we've had a few donations in recent, you know, episodes and whatever. And I don't know. To me, it was a very surreal moment. Because I was like, okay, does that make me officially a YouTuber now because I've received money from doing YouTube? And I think the answer to that is to me personally is, I think regardless if you receive money or not, if you like doing YouTube and making YouTube content, irrespective of somebody, even if you don't get but 2 or 3 views, you're a YouTuber, you know.
We have an audience question if you want to read it.
What's the audience question? Go ahead.
Mysterious K says, question, how do you talk on YouTube? And 2, how to attract a wholesome audience?
You know what? If I were to give like the fucking shitty advice when I would look up like these questions and you'd pull up like a fucking boogie video or some shit, they'd do the constant like, well, you just got to keep doing it and all that. Everyone knows you just got to keep.
Yeah.
All right. The best way to do it, when it comes to like how can you talk on
two
YouTube,
things are for sure.
figure out what you're going to say before you do it, because it's video, it's pre-recorded, right? And then edit out all the nonsense like blank space. You know, unless you're doing a live stream, if you're uploading a video,
one thing's for certain and 2 things are for sure. You can fucking count on
that's
Todd
what
Christopher
people clicked on the video for.
And I'm coming.
And then how do you attract a wholesome audience? Oh, you're asking the wrong person. I ride with a bunch of shitlord, so I don't know about that one. I guess make wholesome topics. I don't know.
You're in for a rough time, dude.
Yeah, it's the internet. I mean, you're always gonna deal with shitters. You know, you just gotta be down for people to call you an asshole or something.
I guess like the way to actually answer that question without you know, pointing out the obvious, you know, it's a fucking cesspool, is like you don't bait in people, or you don't cultivate an audience of people who are like you know, these fucking ideological like cult members, like people who want to cancel, people who want to go attack other channels or do shit that's shady.
Yeah, but even if you look at Dream, who makes some of the most unproblematic content I've ever seen, right? It's some of the most like, I hate that I use that word unironically. That really upsets me.
You have to. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, he's somebody that makes really innocent videos, in my opinion. And even he gets in, you know, his audience finds shit and people find shit to attack him for. You know, where it's like literally nothing. Like one time it was just because they found a picture of him and he might be an overweight guy. Like,
what does that matter?
So he's getting canceled for that. You know, it's like I think part of it is generally speaking, if you want a wholesome community, you got to stick to wholesome topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just real quick,
which is not what we do here either. So.
Yeah.
We received a couple of donos actually, right, just a minute ago.
Oh shit!
So Anonymous tipped $1 and said happy birthday to Nick, and then Reynold Hughes donated $5 and said yes, officially a YouTuber. Well,
yeah, Reynold Hughes, legend.
I appreciate your vote of confidence.
Thank you guys.
Oh, Anonymous did it. Yeah, Anonymous is the GOAT. Unless this is anonymous. Wait, anonymous is the fucking quantum guy,
Discord
right?
mod. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was
turned him.
anonymity.
We
for a
turned
second.
him. No, we turned him into a fan of our channel.
Dude,
Yeah.
anonymous, bro, why won't Quantum actually talk to me? And why do I fucking deal with having to talk to you through him? It's the worst game of telephone, and it's completely unproductive. It's so annoying.
stupid. Yeah, just tell him to call.
How can Quantum sit there and fucking bitch and be like, nobody's willing to talk to me. Nobody reaches out. And I've tried to do it for 2 weeks, and he won't. He won't actually talk to me.
Yeah, he has a more strict firewall than China. It's like he's fucking.
It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
like no wonder why people are fucking attacking him. He doesn't actually reach out to talk to anybody.
And you may not be aware of this, Willie, but like I said, I reached out to him back at the very catalyst of all this and stuff, and tried to play, because I honestly, truthfully, I don't. Other than somebody like, say, Lion Maker, I don't really think that anybody should be permanently banned off of YouTube, right?
I agree completely.
No, yeah, we're both free speech absolutists. Like in a perfect world, they can talk shit all they want.
Exactly. And even when, here's the thing, and I don't know if you're aware of this as well, but when it really started getting really toxic between Ackman supporters and Quantum supporters, right? There were people
I don't know if there's the Quantum supporters are like, there's one of them for every 2,000.
Sure. I
mean, there isn't really that many Quantum supporters.
Okay, but it was still, what I'm saying, it was still getting, it was getting in a bad area, a bad space, whatever. There were some people who were under the name of Ackman. I want to be very clear about this. I'm not saying it was Ackman supporters, but they were using under the name of Ackman. It could have been, who knows, people from past issues that had, problems with Quantum. Could have been doing this. They went on to because he had a website that was like a blog, right? And they went in there and started actually doxing Quantum in his own blog, giving his name out. And when I saw that, because I was monitoring everything, trying to garner some information, whatever, I immediately went. I couldn't go to Quantum because he had me blocked, but I went to Anonymous and said, "Hey, listen." Showed him. I said, "You need to let him be aware of this. I'm not okay with this. This is getting out of hand here, And so I don't agree. That was one of the things that I made very clear on the last show we did. I don't agree with his assessment of nobody has tried to hear his side of things. I tried to. I know you tried to. I even reached out on your behalf to them and said, listen, there's a guy you need to talk to. He's a straight, fair shooting kind of guy. And it's, getting WillyMac. And they said, we're aware of WillyMac and we're talking to him. And I said, okay.
I know. How can I take, how can I sit there and watch Quantum play victim with nobody will reach out to me when I've been doing it for a minute, and it's like I'm dealing with, not just crazy Actman supporters, but literally the fucking Actman who I think has been crazy towards me. I'm dealing with the main guy too, right? So
100%.
I don't know. I find it frustrating. I found it frustrating from all the sensitive topics I've covered on my channel, right?
Yeah.
This has been hands down the most frustrating in terms of getting people to actually talk to me, or figure out the information,
And you would think that based upon how Quantum has acted or things that he said or anything of that nature, you would think he would want people to listen to his side of the story.
At least clear some things up.
Clear some of the things up. Yeah. So anyway, speaking of, I know that you have a video that you're working on.
I'll probably be out tomorrow.
Yeah, and I know you were having
Tuesday tends to be my day.
You kind of had some issues with your housing arrangement, and I know that kind of put a kink in your plans as far as getting things done. Hopefully that all got squared away. I hope that you're able to get that, all.
Yeah, probably would have been out today if the sponsor I had didn't want to move to like the beginning of July. So then I just got kind of lazy. So that's why it's not been out yesterday or today.
Yeah.
But Tuesday, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind. Tuesday it'll be out because tomorrow it'll probably get finished. And then I don't like releasing stuff on Monday because Monday's cursed.
Okay.
So I just put shit out on Tuesday usually.
Yeah. So is there anything, I guess, kind of in closing? I think we've taken more than enough of your time, and you've been very gracious, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
I love bullshitting on podcasts.
Okay, so just so that we're clear about this, you have an open invitation that anytime that you have a Sunday afternoon free and you want to come on here and bullshit with us, all you got to do is say, hey, I want to come bullshit. You have an open
look, I'm a terrible person to say that to because I'm going to forget, right? I got a million open invitations on shit. The best way to get me to come on, if you want me to come on for some shit, you got to ask, and then you got to remind me at the beginning of the day of. Dave reminds me every Wednesday, twice a day, that's when I show up. You know, like, otherwise I'm just going to get fucking doing my own shit and not remember, I'm useless.
Yeah. Well, see,
everybody on YouTube, we're all man babies. We're all fucking idiots. We can't keep a schedule worth of shit.
Dave has asked me all the time. He's like, when are you going to have me back on the show? And I'm like, Dave, you can come on anytime you want, right? And he's like, well, you got to. And so I understand what you're saying, and I 100% appreciate that.
You can't be afraid to ask. That can't
see,
be
that's the thing. I feel like I am. What's what I'm looking for here? I feel like
you're pestering them.
Well, not necessarily pestering, but I feel like I'm.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, pestering maybe, but to me it's even more than that. I feel like I'm taking advantage of our.
It's a fucked up thing to say. It's like saying like you want your friend to come over and hang out, and you're taking advantage of them. It's like not really. I mean, like the whole point of you having a show and inviting people on is to put on entertainment.
Yeah.
YouTubers love to come talk about, themselves or, shit just in general, whatever drama is going on.
Yeah.
What I wouldn't do is like, I probably wouldn't sign up to be like every Sunday I'll be here. But if every now and then, some drama kicks off and you want me to come on and talk about that,
sure,
that sounds fun. I don't know why I wouldn't go do that every now and then, but you got to ask. That's on you.
Okay.
The YouTuber is never going to ask you.
Listen, now that you've made it perfectly clear, the next time something big pops off, I'm going to come and say, hey, Willie, if you're free Sunday, we'd love to have you, man. And then
Matt Pitt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude's entire job is to pester people to try and get them to come on. That's all he does, right? That's a huge part of what he does, and he's good.
He's very good at it.
People don't get all offended or mad at him for it.
I've never in my life. I think it's a generational thing because I come from a different time, and to me, I feel like I'm putting on people or and stuff when I do that, and I hear what you're saying, and you're the second person who's actually told me that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to have to take it a little bit more to heart and quit being so bashful and just say, get your ass on here. And
I mean, shit, dude, look at Dave, right? Dave went from a completely dead channel where when he started streaming over there,
sure,
I think we were getting 15 viewers a podcast or some shit.
Yeah.
And now it's been 3 months. We've just stuck with it. We just show up, and now we're bordering on hitting like 90. Yeah. We were hitting 80 just this last week. And when Nick's on Thursdays, they hit over 100 at times. So it's like YouTube's a grind, but you got to go out and you got to hustle. If you want to do a podcast where you're bringing people on, you got to go ask over and over again, and you got to make sure they the day of they're gonna fucking be there. It's a big part of it.
Yeah. Well,
you're in the journalism game where you gotta fucking pester.
Okay,
you're in the interview game.
All right, fine. That's what I'll start doing. But again, I cannot thank you enough for coming on. Really have enjoyed the conversation with you. I'm sorry
I enjoyed it too.
I'm sorry you kind of joined in when we were talking about that political crap.
It's cool. You guys didn't stay on it for too long. It's fine. You guys can talk about whatever you want.
Well, like I said, we were
doing this other thing where he apologizes for literally everything under the sun.
I'm sorry. It's just how I was raised. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's one of those things where it's like, if you guys want to have that conversation and I'm there, I probably can't add to it, but
no,
I'll be there.
Yeah, no, we try to tailor the shows more to what our guests are in line with. So like when Dave's on, we have to talk about Pokemon and weed, and so I don't know shit about Pokemon, and I remember a little bit from my. I know a little bit from my high school days about weed. So anyway,
yeah.
But listen, anyways.
Fantastic.
Speaking of Dave, listen, guys, let me find the link right quick.
Yeah, Dave's live right now with Tipster, and he's interviewing him.
I'm going to put in a link in the chat because then we're going to wrap this up because I think we've taken
Go
up.
tell him Clear's Mud sent you.
Yeah. Why did it not do that? That's stupid.
Oh man, we're on the boomer tech right now.
Hey. Easy with the boomer shit. I thought you were supposed to be the destroyer of Zoomers.
Oh, I hate the Zoomers, dude. They're the worst. I realized that I might be a Zoomer though, and it's definitely stressed me out.
How old are you?
I'm 41.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Good old 40. Dude, did you know, unironically, on my I said that as a joke for years, right? I'm 40 or whatever. I said 39. On my, you know what like a YouTubepedia is? It's like a Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Mine said 41 forever until we were on a live stream and Turkey Tom was just pulling up the different people who was on its YouTubepedias. And he's like, Willie, why does it say you're 41? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I died laughing so hard. So now it just says age like unknown.
Yeah.
Like, there's no age for me anymore on that site. Like we shamed whoever wrote that post.
I'm going to guess 32.
Did that page.
Yeah.
But
look, I'm 42 now.
42. Oh, you're still a kid, man.
I got all that wisdom.
I noticed earlier there was someone asking how old I was in chat. I'm 54 years old. I'm proud of that.
Oh, yeah. He banned him. He's being a fucking dipshit.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, okay. I know exactly who that is.
All right. Anyway, I'm 54. I'm planning on retiring in about a little over 5 years. So hey, and then I will be doing YouTube full time because I'll have nothing else to do. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. I've linked to Dave's YouTube. He's streaming right now with Tipster. Would greatly appreciate it if you guys would jump over there and follow him. We thank you all profusely for hanging out with us today. I thank WillyMac again for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it very much. I'll be watching Tuesday for the video drop. Make sure if you haven't, go subscribe to WillyMac's channel.
Oh yeah.
He's a great content creator. He's funny. Has great editing. But he went to college for it, so he has to have great editing.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good enough for a YouTube video. I'm definitely not like some of these new Zoomer kids that just are fucking masters of it.
AI brains.
Yeah. But anyway, Banana, anything that you want to say before we cut out here today, bud?
No.
All right.
Nothing at all.
It was great meeting you, Banana. You seem like a great dude. Do you also have a YouTube channel or do you just do the podcast?
No, I just do this podcast and I stream on Twitch sometimes. And we also have another show on the channel called Digging Deeper, and I got to get back on the ball with that. But it's like Joe Rogan-esque type shit, where I just talk to somebody.
I think that's you guys just gotta stick with it. I would say one thing for certain: you guys gotta get the titles different. You cannot have the name of the podcast on the front.
Okay.
I will work on that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That piece of
Thanks,
advice.
man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, deuces, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yep. It's good to meet you.
So anyway, guys, with that, remember, keep your powder dry, and we'll see you in the funny papers.
Bye-bye.